early, and then I was trying to knock people out when they went all in, and
it backfired. It can happen.
Stack got, so I was midway through.
Okay.
So, but I'm the permanent dealer for our group. So I'm still there dealing. We're going back and forth. Other guys are shuffling. It's going pretty fast now. So, but anyway, we took a quick break, got up, went and got, I don't know, something, chips in the kitchen or something, a little snack. So right behind my seat at the table, there's this low ottoman, like barely a foot off the ground, that was moved back there so we could have room for the big poker table. And I was totally oblivious, forgot it was there, didn't see it because it was so low to the ground, tripped, face first, like did not have time to get my hands up, face first, right into the side of the poker table.
Yeah.
And then, boom, smack right down on the rug over the hardwood floor. And, like, all my dudes gasped, like, for a minute, making sure I didn't, like, totally pass out, go unconscious.
I almost wonder if they didn't see it, like, how many of them thought you were just playing a gag or something?
No, because we were all right there. It's an open.
So it was an instant, like, boom,
it was boom, boom, and loud noise and all that. And they're like, oh, my God. And so I was down there, face down for a minute, and then I slid my hand kind of next to my cheek, and I felt wetness, so I knew I was bleeding and told them I was bleeding. And so they went and got a rag and some ice. And so I, kind of took a minute there, made sure I was of all my faculties, kind of rolled over and sat up for a minute, and So, they helped me up. So we said, we got to go in the bathroom, clean it up. We got to look at it. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, that's a bad gash.
Yeah.
And at that point, poker was over for the night.
What happened? They split the pot?
They split the pot.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So they won anyway.
So, everybody was, and so then, one of my buddies lives near me. So he's like, I'll take him to St. Vincent. Called my wife and said, hey, well, my buddy did. And it's like, she was surprised, like, what's going on? Well, I'm fine. Your husband, however.
What time is this?
10:30.
Okay.
I was worried she was already in bed. Like, for some reason, she was still up. So then we head out, get to the emergency room, and you never know what you're going to get on a Saturday night at an emergency room.
That crowd can be all kinds of different.
So it was relatively sparse.
Yep.
The majority of it was little babies, and
Oh yeah, I've been there before.
They spike a fever. New parents not sure what the hell's going on. You can't figure it out. Off you go. So they kind of checked me in. So we sat there about 45 minutes, an hour, just waiting for the doctor to get loose. And then so then we go back, and they're looking at it. Really getting in there close, so it took 6 stitches. I did have a CT scan.
There you go.
So they made sure I didn't
out all right.
fracture a bone or had any hemorrhaging inside. So the coconut was fine, relatively speaking. And so then doctor stitched it up, the cut, 6 stitches, and then when they cleaned it all out, they were looking, and then they were worried that maybe there was a cut on the inner eyelid.
Which
would have been a whole, I would have been there all night or something.
Probably would have been out today.
Because that would have required, on the inner eyelid, it would have required an ocular plastic surgeon.
Oof.
And I don't know what all would be in it, because they'd have to then pry your eye open.
We're talking like a centimeter away from, like,
it's pretty close, because there were 2 of them in there looking at it. What do you see? Because my eye was tearing up.
Yeah.
It was,
Well, it looks pretty swollen today. And
so it's more swollen underneath. And it looks like I was, in a bar fight or a hockey fight.
I was going to ask you if we could put out the first photo you sent in our group chat. The second one looks like a guy at a hospital bed.
Yeah.
The first one looks like a mugshot. It looks like somebody that you'd see on Oregon Live was arrested.
I was, yeah.
Because it looks like you're still sitting up, whereas the second one looks like somebody who's more laying down.
Yeah, I was in the hospital bed at that point.
Yeah, the first one looks like
I was just sitting there.
arrested.
I think Megan took it. And
Yeah. I wanted to be like, hey, should we send this out and be like, what was this guy arrested for, if you had to guess? I also The internet can be really
yeah, that's the only thing
awful.
Is context is everything out there.
I know.
So I restrain, but I figured, YouTube this morning, you'll get a look at it.
Well, you had to light up Dan's in there working, but also you had to turn the lights on a little more than usual because we got to have a look at the Shiner.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can find it on the YouTube page. Kind of a random, scary moment in a time when you least expect it.
Exactly.
Poker night with the boys, and then bam, there you go.
Totally random, and and like I said, it wasn't even like I had, I had one bourbon because Megan has been dealing with a virus issue, and I had a long week and was still in Vegas, and you can tell from my voice, I'm got a little something that I'm on the verge.
So done with Vegas on the verge that you had a poker night.
And I'm like, well, I went to the Kraken game. Did you guys know I went to the Kraken game Thursday night?
You didn't tell us.
Well, because you guys lose your damn marbles every time so I got home at 1:30 from that and was here Friday morning.
Oh, I mean, if you would have asked us last week if we thought you were up late or still recovering, we would have said, yeah. You have an obvious... You don't know this about yourself, or you just
no. I felt it Friday.
You have an aura.
Yeah.
You have an aura that's like I'm super tired, or I've been doing too much.
So we
didn't know that, but if you would have told me, I would have.
Yeah, we went to the Kraken Avalanche game Thursday.
There you go.
And so I was running.
You got home at 1:30.
I didn't drive, so I slept in the car on the way home. So and then Friday we ran. I was here in the afternoon because we were doing our first Thorns game.
We're the home in the, you know what I mean?
Exactly. But we were doing our first Thorns broadcast.
Yeah.
And so, over on an alternate signal that we haven't done sports on before, there was a lot of new moving parts. We've got new young play-by-play people. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to do that just so everybody, in case something goes wrong. Dusty stayed, but it was a long week.
By the way, did we know? No, because you chose not to tell us. You knew you were going to get some react. You didn't want to tell us that.
I was like, no, I'm just going to, if they figure it out, they figure it out, but let's just do this.
We figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We can tell. We can tell when you're tired or you're dealing with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that's
why I'm like, you know what? I don't need to cut it loose this weekend. We're good.
So let me go to a poker night and then get 6 stitches.
And then...
Hey, it's going to be a calm weekend. No, it's not.
So the stitches are supposed to dissolve in a week or so. So the question will be how much of a scar will be left, because it was a nasty gash.
Chicks dig scars, man.
Let's hope so.
Lady Swag might be super into it.
I don't know.
Other chicks might dig the scars.
There's that too.
Like, hey, tell me your story here.
So we were sending out. So we left. I got home Saturday, Sunday morning, 3 a.m. from the ER. We were there probably a total of 4 hours.
That's a late night, my man. That's a late night. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad your eyelid is okay.
So but my vision's okay. Other than my eye is swollen, so that's affecting it. But no, I didn't have double vision. I didn't lose consciousness. I don't have headaches. I'm not dizzy.
Well, if you wouldn't be here, it'd be a really interesting show. I don't even know who'd fill in for you at this point.
I don't know who at that point, but...
Well, I'm glad you're in. I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Good to have you. I'm glad you're wearing your Canada Loves It When You Come sweatshirt.
Exactly. I thought, I looked like I was in a hockey fight today.
We beat Canada in the quarters, so it's kind of fitting. We continue to dominate Canada in all sports.
Yeah. And then, so I pretty much just sat on the couch most of Sunday, flipping around from
tournament to golf,
Blazers to Kraken to WBC to whatever.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot to get to today. It's good to have you in. I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Nice little interesting poker story. Poker never a safe venture for people out there. We got our bracket reveal. We're not going to be able to pick our bracket today.
Yeah, we got to wait for Dirk for that.
Maybe he should be punished for it. Maybe he should not count in our bracket contest against each other. Who won last year, by the way, between 3 of us?
I don't even remember. He's the one that usually keeps track of that stuff.
Well, I remember last year, I'm always pretty good in the opening games, and then I fizzle off hard when it gets to the Elite Eight.
I don't think I had.
Elite Eight gets bad.
Yeah.
Because I try to get ballsy.
Because last year was chalk.
It was super chalky.
And I was...
Like, who was the Cinderella story last year? Do you remember?
No.
I don't either. I'll look it up during the break.
And we're probably going to have less of that because the Power 4 conferences are dominating the bids. There's fewer and fewer.
Miami, Ohio barely got in, and we'll get to that today. But we have the Portland teams that'll be here. so you'll at least know who you're paying to see. So we'll talk about the NCAA tournament. But we got breaking news in the association. Look at us.
Look at Shams coming through on a Monday.
Breaking news streak for us, both in the NFL and now in the NBA. Let's get to the big breaking news in the association. We'll start there. Dirt and Sprague. Let's get it going. 105.1, The Fan. All right, welcome back in. We have a poll question up already. Don't do as many poll questions anymore, but you can vote at Dirt and Sprague. Are you excited about having the I-5 rivalry back in the NBA? Because, my man, Swag, we got breaking news about 25 minutes ago from Shams Charania. where he tweeted, the NBA will hold a vote at the Board of Governors meeting March 24th and 25th to explore adding expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle, with the two franchises targeted for the 28-29 season. Sources tell him at ESPN there is momentum for stakeholders to approve. He added the first vote will allow the league to explore purchase processes for Las Vegas and Seattle, and there will then be a potential final vote later in the year to finalize transactions to 32 teams if bids reach necessary threshold in both voting rounds. 23 of 30 governors must vote in favor. So I think you're going to get Jim Dolan to vote against this because Jim Dolan fundamentally hates the league and Adam Silver, and maybe he can convince a couple people to join him. But for the most part, there is basically, we find out today, Vegas and Seattle are going to have franchises back, and so that's why I did the poll question. Are you excited about having the I-5 rivalry back in the NBA with the Sonics returning and whatever Las Vegas ends up becoming name-wise as a franchise? It's not that this is massively shocking news. I think a lot of people, if you followed any of the intel on this, it became, this is going to be announced in the summertime. And then the groundswell began in the summer with a lot of the Board of Governors of, do we want to do this? Because they got their new media rights deal, and it was, 11 years, $76 billion, and then the intel started coming out from some of the national talking heads. It was they don't want to lose, they don't want to split any more money. They want as much money as they can get. Well, then this become a one expansion team. And then the NBA largely has not been sitting in we only want one team to come back or be created and come back. They want both the Sonics to come back and Vegas to be a thing. We've known about Vegas and Seattle for quite some time.
I'm glad they're not saying this is an open bid thing. If they want to expand later, great, if there's more markets. I think they want to expand more internationally than domestically.
Well, they're doing the Europe League thing.
Yeah, they're going to do that.
That's still something that's going to happen.
But I could see another team in Canada at some point. I could see a team in Mexico at some point. I
don't know about Mexico. The Mexico elevation thing, I think, is a real problem for these leagues. They like to be there for a game or two, but I don't know if they want a team that way. And the other one in Canada, you go in Vancouver? Because that went so poorly the first time.
Could
do you pivot Montreal? Do you do something else?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's other, but basketball in Canada from think about all of the youth program in Canada.
The league MVP's Canadian.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt that
there's no doubt. I think basketball is far more popular in Canada. I don't know where the hotbeds are outside of Toronto right now.
Maybe Vancouver is a city that can get its S together with the NBA and have a team again. I certainly wouldn't be against it.
Well, they're just about done with the Canucks. So.
Well, yeah. But right now it's going to stick at just 2, and so then they'd be looking at bids in the $7, $8, $9, $10 billion range with the expansion fees and whatnot. And so now you got to vet everything and see who is it going to be as the leader. I'll try to see some people from Seattle, see what they're saying. But I did hear on the ESPN show before us that one of the leaders in the clubhouse is the owner of the Kraken.
The Kraken group.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. They control the arena. They're loaded. So it would be pretty seamless.
I think this is great.
This is awesome.
I think this is awesome. The Sonics should have never left. I love the rivalry. I miss the Christmas Day games when you had the red and the green and just the history of it. And I think it's good for travel, too. Both those cities will have each other to play.
Well, it also helps them out on road trips because
big time.
It's an easy, whether you do the 45-minute chartered flight or you take a bus or whatever you want to do.
Right.
It's easy to schedule those two together for teams, so it's convenient. And then Vegas fits right down there with Phoenix, LA. I'll be interested to see what the iterations are of how they will decide. Will we go back to, will they get rid of the divisions? You'll just have a Western and an Eastern Conference at that point with 16 teams. What it means for the schedule. Does it make it easier maybe to cut back the schedule, as many people have talked about? I don't know how much they can cut it back without affecting their TV deals.
Well, that's the thing is I kind of wonder is these two markets, like Seattle being the market it is and Vegas being Vegas, like I wonder how much of that, because there doesn't appear to be any, the two things they're concerned about right now are expansion and tanking. Those are the two topics that are reaching Adam Silver and becoming the national narrative. You're getting other people that are suggesting Steve Kerr step on in, becoming his yearly routine of saying we need to play less games. But there's been no real backing support from the commissioner on that. I think, if anything, he has not relented on the 82-game thing because of the media rights deal, because the TV partners don't want to lose those windows. I still think it's the right thing to do. The way the NBA is played now is like it's just so much more taxing on the body, which is why you have all these leg injuries. But I don't think that's something you're talking about.
Math. So if you play everybody in the league twice, there's 32 teams. You play 31 teams twice. That's 62. Then if you just did two conferences, two 16-team conferences, you played everybody else in your conference a third time. 15. That makes 77 games. Can you trim 5 games off of the regular season schedule without it affecting the total value of your TV deals?
I mean,
I would think it would be marginal.
But we might be in the minority in that because the NBA, again, is not hinting that they're even interested in that. This is more the avenue they want to go for more money.
Well, can you replace, though, okay, do you expand the play-in a little bit? Now that you have 16 teams in each one, do the top 6 get in, and then maybe the next 6 do some sort of play-in thing so you're... And then the bottom 6 teams in each conference, or the bottom 4, are going to suck.
Oh, they're going to be awful. So is the bottom of the play-in, though. The Portland Trailblazers are the 10 right now. They're terrible.
No, I know that, but I'm just trying to say...
It's going to get worse if you expand that.
At some point, somebody's going to say you have to make the math work.
Yeah.
So, but let's let those games actually mean something, have them be elimination rather than just the end of the season, and, similar to what the first 4 is for the NCAA tournament. We get more teams involved. We can have a little bit more inventory, and hopefully you match teams that are in the same spot, maybe competitively, and it's a elimination thing, and you contrive where the game actually means something when in reality it probably doesn't.
It might also, too, be like something that surpasses the play-in, or not the play-in, the NBA in-season, the
something
cup,
like that.
The cup tournament.
Yeah.
They're trying to make that a thing. It's fine that it exists. You don't have to care about it.
Yeah.
But I would say if you expanded the play-in, even though the bottom of that play-in is not going to be very good teams.
Or maybe you do now the cup completely separately, and those 5, you still get 5 games, but they don't count in the standings, and it's something else altogether.
I know. But the thing with the cup, though, is like if you're cutting down games, teams are going to want that rest. The cup's just going to get in the way of that. So who knows? But what we know this morning is they are going to have a vote at the Board of Governors to potentially expand the NBA to 2 teams, both Vegas and Seattle. That's going to happen March 24th and 25th. So we're about 10 days away from finding out, potentially having a show where we say, hey, they have voted yes on this.
It's on now. They will take bids from those cities. And
here's my thought.
Hopefully it shouldn't take... For those cities, it shouldn't take long because there is no...
The Sonics are ready to go.
The Sonics are ready to go.
The Vegas thing is ready to go.
There's nothing involving building a new arena in both those cities.
And the cities both want it.
And they both want it, so now it's finding out. Now it's just vetting who you want to be the owners.
Well, they got to make sure it's somebody that's super financially deep-pocketed.
Exactly.
Now, here's the thing that I would say. Because this news comes across the wire at 5:45 our time, right? 8:45 East Coast. This isn't coming out, I think, unless they know internally this is going to vote yes.
Oh, absolutely.
23 of 30 governors. I mean, you're going to have a couple that say no for whatever dumb reason. But I'd be shocked if they got less than 26 votes.
I would too.
I think that's how concrete this is. I think that's why it leaked to Shams. To basically say this is going to happen in 9 days. Get ready for the breaking news.
They're softening they're just getting test reactions.
Well, nobody's going to come out publicly like, this is a dumb idea.
No. Ishbia's probably the only guy I could see. I don't know if Vegas is technically in Phoenix market, if there's Suns fans there or not. I have no idea.
Ishbia is? I think it's Dolan. Dolan, on record, hates Adam Silver.
Oh, well.
If there's going to be somebody to vote against, it's definitely Jim Dolan.
I was just trying to think of somebody that feels like one of those things is encroaching on their markets. Portland doesn't care. Seattle was there forever. They would love the rivalry back.
Isn't it funny how in the NBA, Portland doesn't care about Seattle getting a team, but in baseball, Seattle cares greatly about Portland getting a baseball team?
Because Seattle's market is massive.
Well, they've also existed forever, so yeah I get it. But Good news. I think it's great news for
I
the
think
league.
it's great news. And hopefully when they do it, it provides them the opportunity then to really go back to the drawing board as far as how, divisions, conferences are set up, how the schedule is set up, looking at everything, and gives them cover to if somebody in an office somewhere has had some, really brilliant idea, but it's so far-fetched that they're worried about it, now they got cover to explore it.
So one part of the expansion that's going to happen is something I want to talk about a little bit on the other side of what is most likely in 28-29 by the time this actually happens.
Yeah.
We're going to have an expansion draft. Is there anybody on the roster that you think the Blazers will have to protect by 28-29? We talk about that a little bit coming up next, but first, Swag with a sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make if your grandma were from the Big Island. Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the Fan. Blazers unable to take advantage of a banged-up 76ers squad opening a 5-game road trip with the NCAA tournament coming to Moda Center. Portland turned it over 18 times, shot just 39%, falling to Philly 109-103. They're in Brooklyn tonight to take on the Nets, 4:30 on KUMP Xfinity Channel 1016. Shams Charania of ESPN reporting this morning NBA expected to hold a vote at the next Board of Governors meeting to add expansion teams exclusively in Seattle and Las Vegas, with those new teams beginning play in the 28-29 season. Paul Skeens and 5 relievers held the Dominican lineup to just 1 run. Team USA got home runs from Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony for a 2-1 victory and a spot in the final of their 3rd straight World Baseball Classic. They will face the winner of tonight's semifinal between Italy and Venezuela. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitter.
Something I completely overlooked, and I want to give the proper credit here. The funny aspect of the Seattle and Vegas announcement from Shams this morning. By the way, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. No dirt. He is out today. He'll be back tomorrow. But the news from Shams Charania is that the NBA is going to vote on March 24th, 25th on going forward with expansion in Vegas and Seattle. Those exclusively are the teams. It's not about expanding in general. No. It's about specifically those two cities. And so forever they've talked about Seattle coming back after Stern and the politicians of the state of Washington butt heads and lose the team to Oklahoma City. But now Vegas, which the NBA has already dabbled in, they've had all-star games there. All the sports are there except the NBA. Seattle and Vegas specifically cited here. The whole thing I completely overlooked, and I want to give a shout-out to our good friend Sean Hiken on this. He tweeted about an hour ago, damn, I guess the Blazers aren't moving to Seattle, are they? The yearly column we've gotten for like 15 years is just constantly, the Blazers might be moving, the Blazers might be moving. And it's always, to me, been laughable, and I understand it. Like, we're looking at every side of funding and all that stuff, and Silver was here this Friday.
Silver was just here, and maybe that was part of it, saying, okay, now we're going to get this done for the new owner. And
him and Ron Wyden have a good relationship, and Ron Wyden had talked to the media.
Ron Wyden has as much juice as any individual person that represents the state of Oregon. He's been in office
forever, yeah. He's been a representative forever. And he basically was talking about the public versus private funding and all that. Don't forget the Dundon story we tied in about him trying to sell a portion of his hockey team. I don't think that's officially gone in, but that's to get another was franchise valued at 2.2.
Yeah, he's raising cash at that point.
He's raising cash, and then the reason you vote for this stuff is for what? It's the money. It's the fee that every team is going to get from the potential owner of it. So, I mean, it's just always been laughable to me, but you've had really serious people write about it and talk about it, and there's always been a fear-mongering aspect that the fan base, I think, sits in because we're the little brother of pro sports.
Yep.
And I've always kind of chuckled at it, but here you go. Sean Hiken making a good point. I guess this deads the whole Blazers going to Seattle stuff with expansion potentially coming to Vegas and Seattle. So when you get expansion, the Fire are going through this if they can have a season. When you're going through expansion, you have an expansion draft. And it depends on the size of your league, but I just heard on ESPN, they're projected to look at protecting 10 players potentially on the roster.
And because you have, we'll see how far to expand. Probably would not include two-way, maybe the two-way. If you include two-way players, then teams have as many as 17 or 18 guys on a roster.
Right. So they're going to open all of that up.
So there's two teams that need to fill it up.
Yep.
So you can protect 10.
Mm-hmm. Will there be one Blazer that they protect in 28-29 expansion
that's currently
draft?
On the roster.
That is currently on the roster, because I could only come up with one name that I confidently say.
Same one as me, Donovan Clingan.
I think it's the Klinger. And it's not to say that Denny won't be a Blazer in 28-29. It's not to say that Scoot or Shaden or Tumani, it's not to say it's impossible. But to me, if I was to wager, is there more than one Blazer on the roster, 28-29, that is protected by the Blazers?
1.5.
I would put it at 1.5, and I would actually bet the under. And again, that's just me taking a, let's see, 27, 28. You're talking about 3 seasons from now.
Yep.
I have no idea if Denny is meant to be here long
You have a new owner coming in.
New owner.
So even if he gives them next season, you know what? I don't want to rock the boat right away.
Here's your one prove-it year.
Dame will finally be back in uniform. Yep. Let's see what they can do with him and do that. But after that, like Dundon is not one, if he's like, this ain't working, he will.
Is the sneaky one to put in this Dame? Because if there's an expansion, they're not protecting Dame.
How long when does his contract run out?
Well, it's a 3-year deal. But I'm just asking.
But this is year 1, right?
Yes.
So, I could see him being done.
See, and that's the thing is like, done? I don't know, man. If you told me he was like an 8th guy off the bench as a Blazer building up more contract money, I wouldn't be shocked, because I would assume he's naturally going to ask Dundon about being part of the ownership group when he's retired,
I
right?
see him being
that would be surprising if he wasn't.
GM at some point. Absolutely.
The GM?
I do. I think he's more interested from that thing than
from a
coach.
Team-building standpoint? I don't think he wants a coach.
He doesn't want a coach.
Owner.
I could
like a Magic Johnson Dodger owner. He's the face, but he's got a small stake. But as the general manager?
I think he doesn't want to be.
I guess he is a GM right now.
I see him, if he's going to be involved in something, then he's involved in it.
Okay. I see him as more the face, and you just build a business empire in our city, which he already is, but that's what
I don't see him just being an ambassador or something like that the way we've seen. I think if he's going to want to stay with the team and be involved, then he wants to be involved.
Yeah, but he could be a Brady-like owner, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's got not as high a stake of Brady, but he gives you 1% stake, 2%, and he's like the face, the representative face of the franchise.
I guess the question for him is how many other things does he want to be involved in, either with his music career, other entrepreneurial things going off his car dealership and other stuff like. If he wants to be involved in that, then yes, I could see him being an owner and consultant. But if he's still not ready to give up basketball, but his body says you can't really do it the way you used to do it, I could see him being president of basketball operations or GM.
Yeah, that's it's a tough one, but if you told me Denny's here too, I'm not shocked at all. Tumani is a wild card because it's not that they would get rid of Tumani. He clearly gives them a lot defensively.
No, the question there becomes, is there a wholesale roster?
Yes, is there a trade?
And he's probably going to fetch you the most value on the market.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy that other teams competing for a championship, I need that guy. He's the missing piece. I can stick him on somebody defensively. He can hit an open three. He'll rebound his tail off. I don't have to run offense through him to keep him happy. That's the guy you can actually get draft picks for.
Well, we heard from Adam Silver over the weekend. He was here on Friday. We'll get to the World Baseball Classic. We had the NCAA tournament bracket that came out yesterday, so we have a lot to get to. We'll hear from Adam Silver, who was in town on Friday to talk about the funding for the Blazers in the Moda Center. We'll get to that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan. So the Sonics are back. Is it weird to just say that? I should probably wait for the actual vote and for the confirmation, right? Because it's going to be a segment when the vote happens.
Yeah. Now, Vegas will get to create something from new.
That's exciting.
So that'll be fun. But yeah,
it will
be the Sonics.
It's going to be the Vegas A's, the Vegas Aces, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Vegas Raiders. They don't really have – I mean, it's super Vegas to not have a theme.
Yeah, the Golden Knights is their – yeah, because that was their owners because he was from the U.S. Military Academy, and he wanted to do the Black Knights, but that was
the Army.
Yeah, it was the Army. That was not allowed.
Well,
so they came up with the Golden Knights.
So Seattle's in a good spot because they got a great arena. They've got a great WNBA team. And they're going to get their team back.
It's all going to work.
It's
they get to have the Sonics back. Let's see the old school, Horizon with the Space Needle. And
ooh, what Sonic jersey is your favorite Sonic jersey?
The originals. The
original? Or are you talking about the one with the Space Needle?
The one with the space. No.
6 variations of the OGs.
The one where they have the arc, the green arc with the name across the front and the back. I don't know if those are the original, but the ones they won the title in the late 70s. The 70s and 80s ones.
I mean, they have to do it'd be funny if they came back and did all their variations in the first season and did what we should have done 8 different times at this point.
Now, the ones that had the kind of the red and the orange in them that was during the Gary Payton era.
The 96 team?
Yeah, those were fun, but I
liked those.
Those
more
were
partial
fine.
to those.
Make those your alternate jerseys.
Sure. You can do the alternate core. You can do the last couple that you had with KD and Ray Allen. You could bring those back.
But they need to at least start by having the original, what I consider the originals from the late 70s.
The Vegas one's more fun just because, you are, to your point, you're creating something out of nothing.
You're going from scratch.
And that could go bad. That could go very poorly, or you can come up with a great name.
I mean, the Pelicans, woof.
I mean, it's got to be black and what? Black and gold, black and silver-ish, because that's what the Aces and the Golden Knights are.
I would think, yeah.
The A's, I don't think, are going to change anything, and the Raiders are black and silver.
I think if you stick black, gold, and silver in
some variation
the main, and then figure out what kind of accent color you want, but I would stay in that range.
Well, the Blazers are going to have their I-5 rivalry back. Shout out to anybody with a yellow Humvee that might drive up to that game at some point in your life. And Adam Silver was in town on Friday, and he talked with Blazer Broadcasting about the funding situation here in Portland and trying to get money to update and renovate the Moda Center.
It's a great first step. I mean, there's some additional steps along the way. It's part of why I'm here in town today talking to some of the elected officials. But I think the fact that it was bipartisan, the fact that it moved fairly quickly, through the legislature, got passed. I've had great conversations with the governor and the mayor, and I said it's been a bipartisan effort. I think everyone in this community recognizes that even in addition to the Trailblazers and the fire, and we can't forget about the fire, which are about to open, this season, that these arenas are multi-use facilities whether it's conventions or trade shows, concerts, graduations, you name it, they're part of the lifeblood of communities. So it's not just for the Trailblazers and the fire. You need a state-of-the-art arena here, and the Moda Center has become probably the oldest building in the league. There may be a building or two that are older but have already gone through significant renovations. So, this work needs to be done, not just for the basketball teams in town, but for all those events. And because I know on behalf of the economy of Portland, you guys have lost out on some big events because this arena hasn't been updated in a long time. So it's just work that needs to get done, but it seems like the spirit is there. Everybody's lining up. Everything's not, everything requires some negotiations these days and some compromising, but I feel we can get this done.
Everything feels really good when you get $600 million of taxpayer money. Everybody's got to feel good about that. That's where the money, basically, which comes from the taxes on arena activities, the renovation is expected to cost about $600 million in total. Ron Wyden, as we mentioned, was also around, and he was basically saying my relationship with him is really good, and that we think this funding bill is going to ultimately pass, and we'll have the money for it. But he still values public-private partnerships for funding. So renovating the Moda Center, one of those things he also talked about was the All-Star Game, and saying he called Portland a mid-sized city, not a small market. He called us a mid-sized city. And as you heard there, kind of alluding to not having the All-Star game in part was the arena and it being a little dated. Now we've also heard about the hotel situation and that being a problem.
The other piece, though, to the All-Star game that's great is the renovation to Memorial Coliseum because they need 2 sites.
Yes.
Because they got to play the celebrity game. They can play the celebrity game over at Memorial Coliseum.
Do they care about the attendance of that? Because what is it, 12-5
No, that's a
at the Memorial?
TV. That's made-for-TV event. They don't care.
You might actually get that decently packed if it's. I think the capacity
because
of
they play the Rising
12,005,
Stars game
right?
and the celebrity game on the same day.
But what's the attendance at Memorial? Do you know the capacity?
I don't know what the new one is for basketball. It was 12,666
back in the day.
Back in the day for the Blazers.
I mean, is dumb and
but
irrelevant?
If you put 10,000 in there, that's perfectly fine.
Is dumb and as irrelevant as that game and the celebrity game is? If we actually got an All-Star game for the first time, I think we'd pack all the events.
I think you would pack all of it.
It'd be a done deal. Because I would go. I would honestly
and then you can set up the convention center for whatever sort of fan fest, you know, whatever you need to do. You have the new convention center hotel that can take care of everybody. My guess is you could probably cut a deal to rent out those Ritz-Carlton condos that never sold for the players and their families to come stay. You could cut a deal for that right now.
They could figure it out.
They can figure it out.
It feels like most of it hinges on getting the funding. And if you get the funding and you renovate the Moda, I feel like Portland eventually
they
will
renovate
get the
it and they get all the bells and whistles done and whatever, technologically needs to be done for the operations of it.
Look at us. We got our I-5 rivalry back, and we're potentially going to get the All-Star game.
Could get the All-Star game. They throw them a bone when Seattle comes back. They get the expansion, all that fun stuff.
We have a loaded second hour. We got the NCAA tournament bracket was released. We had the World Baseball Classic. We got an upset in the World Baseball Classic over the weekend. USA is in the final, so now we await today to find out who the opponent's going to be.
You want another crack at Italy, don't you?
Are they going to beat Venezuela? But I also don't know. I didn't know Japan was going to lose. And,
I would much rather play Italy.
Well, you'd rather play Italy. Are they going to beat Venezuela? I think that's the question. So we can talk about the World Baseball Classic. And classy, boy, not everybody does classy. And it was abundantly clear for one institution over the weekend. So we'll talk about that. Loaded second hour, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.
It's
The second hour, Dirt and Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. We're on 105.1 FM, 1080 AM. The Odyssey app, and of course, YouTube. We're up in, we got our new cameras here. Dan the Man is in early this morning helping us launch our new cameras for the YouTube. Really fun this weekend, hanging out. The weather was really nice on Saturday, so me and the fam were kind of out and about, enjoying Portland as one would in nice weather. And a random listener just smoking a heater on the sidewalk stops and goes, "Hey, man, 1080 P1. And I went, anytime I can get a 1080 shout-out still as a P1, boy, that tells me all I need to know about you. You're a true P1 if there ever was one. Not that we don't want you to launch to 105.1 FM, because we do love being on the FM dial, but when you shout out a 1080 P1, I love that. So never change if that's on the dial. We have a lot to get to here in the second hour of the radio program. Want to remind you guys, though, that Fan Madness is back. You can join us this Thursday and Friday for the two most exciting days of basketball out at Tom's Watch Bar at A. We'll be out there on Friday, and the Firm, Happy Hour, and Primetime all will be out there on Thursday and Friday, broadcasting live throughout the day. Don't miss a minute of the action. You can play hooky with the fan for Fan Madness, brought to you by A, Window Nation, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Cricket Wireless, and video only. Again, March 19th and 20th out at A Casino. The wife and I are looking forward to that trip. We always get a nice little Thursday night action, enjoy some dinner, a little gambling, and then wake up super early, hop on down to Tom's Watch Bar, do a radio show, and then hang out a little bit, watch the tournament, say hi to some coworkers, and enjoy our little Thursday, Friday. So if you are looking for somewhere to watch the NCAA tournament, which I have the bracket in my hand. Yes, we have the bracket here. We'll get to the World Baseball Classic, but if you're looking for a place to go watch the tournament, Thursday, Friday, or both, come on out to Tom's Watch Bar at A. We'll be hanging out and, go say hi to us. We love when we can meet listeners in person and see you guys enjoying yourselves, making bets, and maybe hitting the craps table or what have you. We have a lot to get to here in the second hour of the program. We're doing a lot of technical stuff this morning. We got our top flight technical team of the world, Craig.
I have both the
in this morning.
I can name on one hand the number of times I've had both engineers in this studio.
Has not happened very often in our tenure here, but who, based on your interactions, who is the best morning person, Dan or Josh?
Barely. It's a close. We're going with Dan.
Barely? Dan
yeah.
Barely. Okay,
yeah.
All right. Dan looks a little more lively. Josh has got the hat on.
Josh, Dan was prepared. Like, Dan knew, it's like, okay, first day, I'm going to have to be up here. So he prepared himself for this.
But Dan is probably sitting in why did I have to come in so early? This is working smoothly. I had this ready to go. The biggest conundrum he's had is our television broke. We got a Fire Stick malfunction.
We've had a few things we need to adjust on the fly here.
Okay, all right.
It hasn't been. It's been relatively smooth.
Where's our overlord with the breakfast burritos? Half the employees are here right now. What are we doing? Come on. Let's get the credit card out here.
Exactly.
Expense it. We'll get to the classiness of one individual and how it embarrasses an entire institution. We'll talk about that here in the second hour. We have the World Baseball Classic to discuss.
Yeah, that was a nail biter.
I watched that.
That was on the big screen.
The
Blazers were on the second screen.
I mean, I hate doing this. I don't want to be the dirt today. Dirt is such a negative Blazer
They're
guy.
on the second screen.
I know. I don't blame people if they're not on any screen. I saw one of the biggest diehard Blazer fans lives in my neighborhood. Stopped one time in the middle of the road to tell me a trade had happened that I had missed. I saw him over the weekend, and I go, man, how are you following the Blazers? And he goes, not really. And I was
They're
like,
stuck.
really?
They are stuck in the 10th. Now, they might get to the 9th if Steph never comes back for the Warriors.
Steph says he wants to come back.
So,
and Steph comes back, maybe that change. 9, 10 doesn't matter. They're not making the playoffs. They're not good. They're doing a weird thing, though. Their branding has been come ride the playoffs
push
with
or
us.
whatever.
Yeah, it's a playoff push.
The only difference is the 9, if you are in the 9, you get to host that 9-10 game.
Who cares?
Well, there hasn't been a, quote, postseason.
That's not a postseason game. Those stats don't matter for playoff history.
No, I know that.
Denny could go for 88 points, and it'll be not a regular season stat, nor will be a playoff stat. It'll be a into the ether doesn't count stat.
There hasn't been a lose or go home game in the Moda Center for a while. I'll put it that way.
Does that even count as lose or go home? If it's not officially a playoff game, I don't think it should count as a lose or go home game. Do you lose and go home? You're already home.
If you lose the 9-10 game, you go home.
But it's I'm going to separate and push back on you. It's not a playoff game, so therefore it does not register in what you're classifying here. It's an extended regular season.
It's been so bad there hasn't even been something like that in 6 years.
Totally fair. Totally fair. I was glued, much like you and I think most of the US of A. I was glued to the World Baseball Classic yesterday. You had that Dominican lineup was absolutely loaded. I mean, every hitter that came up, it felt like that dude could go yard, that dude go yard. The one guy that does go yard for them, not the dude you'd pick.
No.
But he went yard. He took Skeens. Skeens was good. He wasn't great. To his own admission, it wasn't his best start.
Control's not pinpoint just yet.
But he was 4 1/3.
Throwing 98.
He was throwing 98. He gave up 6 hits, 1 run, leaves to a standing ovation.
I thought the bullpen was the story. The U.S. bullpen was filthy.
They couldn't be touched. The only guy that was Bednar. And then he get some guys on and then
got him out.
Whiff them. So I was glued to the World Baseball Classic because USA punched their ticket beating the Dominican yesterday to the championship. Friday, they beat Canada. And by the way, the 4.5 run line that Dirk picked for his parlay hit. The Blazers Jazz line didn't, and Scheffler did not finish top 10.
No.
So the parlay was cooked. But they covered the 4.5 line, Canada did, but USA beats Canada. And then on Saturday, we had the upset of Japan. Did you have Japan losing in the quarters?
No.
I didn't either. That was stunning.
That was fantastic.
And it was they were kind of dominated by it.
A little bit.
So Japan is out, and now we await the winner of Venezuela-Italy, which is tonight in the World Baseball Classic. And I'll say this, the World Baseball Classic stuff, it lost a little juice at the pitching department because I just didn't enjoy, I don't mind honesty, but as a fan, I'd rather just be shocked and surprised to find out that the pitcher's leaving and going back, not, I'm going to maybe start one start and leave. I'll say this about it, man. You may not have caught every inning, because I have not. But when I watch it, you can feel the intensity, and damn it if those dudes weren't jacked out of their minds getting that final out last night on a very awful strike 3 call, by the way. That umpire was not good. Where's the replay review there?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have ABS for it.
Joe Davis kind of hinted at that on the broadcast. He's like, ABS is supposed to be here, but it's not yet, and you got to imagine Dominicans wishing it was.
Exactly.
There was like 4 pitches they had where that dude's clearly calling pitches way below the
Well, they got
strike.
out of the 8th inning, and it was on the border as well.
Well, the 5th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, like they had all these opportunities. The Dominican did. They out-hit America, and they just couldn't capitalize with guys in scoring position. So USA is into the final now.
3rd straight year they've gone to the final.
Or
third straight
time.
classic they've gone to the final.
I mean, it's great. Italy and the revenge factor is there. The espressos, the fighting espressos.
I want that. I also don't want Venezuela and United States to allow for outside sports storylines to infiltrate the broadcast.
You don't want to see if we can have Venezuela get payback on the United States for invading their country?
No.
No?
I don't want that.
You don't want your politics mixed with sports?
Especially for the championship game. Just let it be a baseball game.
You think if Venezuela USA play in the championship of the World Baseball Classic
on Fox? Come on.
Sean Hannity pregame show?
Italy doesn't allow for that to occur.
Well, did you feel like going into the gold medal game of Canada, USA, it was political?
No, because I think the hockey was about the hockey.
The hockey was, well, also I think it was on our side not as political because some people are choosing to ignore what is being said about,
I choose to live in that world.
Yeah, vantage
I want to
point.
ignore it. I don't think I'll be allowed to ignore it.
But from Canada's standpoint,
fear.
I think it was all political the entire time.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones being...
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's almost an impossibility that if Venezuela beats Italy, it's not becoming somewhat of a storyline, given what happened,
I know.
A month and a half ago? 2 months ago? How long ago was
the baseball game probably would be better.
That's kind of where I'm at as a sports fan. Like, I don't really care about the political nature.
But also, the U.S. a chance to avenge their loss. And
yeah. What's the better baseball game?
Probably Venezuela.
Then give me Venezuela.
Okay.
What do I care about some pundit, in the political aspect of like? I'm not sharing every viewpoint here. I just want good baseball. Aren't we after just the best baseball game here?
We are.
Give me that. Now, is Skeens officially done? Is that been ruled out?
Well, the game would be tomorrow, so I
maybe
think
an inning of relief.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What? I don't know if there's specific rules. I know they put a lot of safeguards in place to protect the pitchers, knowing it's spring training.
It's not like a World Series where Randy Johnson pitches Game 6 and then comes back in Game 7 relief.
So I don't know if you start, you can't pitch for a certain number of days. I don't know. I know the starters. I know the starter in the championship game can go longer. He can go up to 90 pitches or something.
Oh, there is a limit on
There's a pitch limit on the starters, so it's 55 pitches in the pool play, and then it's 75 or 80 for the knockout rounds. In the championship game, it goes up to 90.
I mean, if you're going to dismiss the give me the good baseball, just give me the win, you're pulling for the fighting espressos here.
Exactly.
You want the espresso boys, you want the payback, you want the maybe easier route. But I would argue if Italy beats Venezuela, I don't know if we can say that anymore.
Then it's about the starters, because I think Aaron Nola could come back for Italy.
Pretty good little pitcher, that Aaron Nola.
He can spin it.
Yeah, not bad. Who would we have on the mound then?
I don't
Do we know who's slated
who
to pitch for?
Championship starter would be.
So that's the tough part there. The lineup's not bad.
Oh no, no, Logan Webb pitched in the Canada game.
He did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with
I'll
Logan
have to
Webb
go
then
look
and
in the break.
Skeens on Sunday. Yeah, we'll find out during the break to confirm on that. Obviously, the lineup is juicy. It's capable, but 2 runs yesterday. It wasn't like the offense. The reason they won that, I think, to your point, the bullpen was just stellar in relief for Skeens. So USA is in the final. We await the winner of Italy and Venezuela. We'll find out who potentially is slated to be the starter on the other side and give you that update. But a lot to get to in the second hour. We got the NCAA tournament bracket, and we got classiness, and we got kind of trashiness on one side of a local team. We'll get to that as well. Hour number 2 rolls on. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan. So Nolan McLean will be on the bump in the championship game for the old US of A. He was 5-1 with a 2.06 ERA for the old New York Mets last season. Just a stud 24-year-old pitcher, so we got that going for us. You don't want to count your chickens because Italy beat you already, and Venezuela's not going to be easy, but I think you got to feel pretty good. I do think it also highlighted, as a guy that has sat on the opposite side take of, I don't want all this replay. Oh, my God, were those strike calls. Those are some of the worst ones I've seen.
I think so far the ABS system, it's done exactly what.
But they're not using it for this.
And I don't know why.
And are these Major League Baseball umpires?
I'm assuming most
are they like
of them
international
are.
Guys?
They might have a few people from maybe the Caribbean leagues or something, but I think for the most part they're Major League umps.
The Tatis one in the, what was it, the 5th or the 7th?
Something like that, yeah.
And they show the replay, and they show where it is in the strike. It's like super below, and then they end the game the way that they did.
But no, I've been in spring training. The ABS system, I don't think it's taking an inordinate amount of time. It seems to be working. I haven't watched it. I haven't been watching a ton. I mostly been watching Dodger games here and there where I can see them. But somebody taps their head, the catcher or the batter, and the ump says, so-and-so is challenging, and by the time he gets done saying they're challenging, the video's popping up on the screen, and here we go.
Well, they have a box. Where'd the ball land? Yeah. Boom. Strike. No strike. There you go.
More important, I haven't been aware of any, technical malfunctions where it didn't register, the video didn't work, or there was some reason it couldn't get up on the screen. The way the stupid thing in the NFL with the automatic measurement never seemed to work.
Well, Skeens highlighted last night in the postgame with Rosenthal. He was like, these are all our friends. We're playing against our friends and our teammates. It's fun. You're representing your countries. And so guys, like the pimping of the home run, what was the guy's name that hit it for the Dominican last night? Blanking.
Oh, I'm blanking too.
Well, when he hit, did you see his bat toss?
Yeah.
He was halfway up the first baseline and chucked the thing like it was a grenade. And I'm like, this is why the World Baseball Classic's good. This is what baseball, dude, I'll say this. In the evolution of doing the radio show and watching baseball I liked baseball. I loved it as a kid. Liked it. Fell out of love with it. My team kind of sucked. Didn't watch as much. And now I'm back. All these people with the takes, the pimp in the home run takes, and the expansion of the wild card, all of those people are super wrong.
Yeah.
It makes it so much more fun when the pitcher is passionately celebrating a big strikeout, or a guy takes somebody yard and tosses a bat from halfway up the first. It makes the sport so much more interesting, fun. All those takes have aged poorly. World Baseball Classic's been pretty good, and I don't know why they're not replaying.
I wish they could do this every year. It's such a great primer to get, because normally spring training,
it's so much better than spring training.
It starts early and then it just drags on and drags on and drags on.
Also gets their juices going. They don't have to take a month to get into the flow.
So we'll have to see. I think the one thing that they have to monitor is, especially with the pitchers, I think the position players love it because it gets them dialed in a little quicker.
Yeah.
For batters, it's really game intensity at bats.
That felt like that was a playoff game.
So the only thing they got to watch is there an inordinate percentage of injuries to pitchers that pitch in that versus guys that don't.
The NCAA tournament bracket was released.
Here we go.
Yes.
Did you watch a lot of conference tournament action or not?
I watched a decent amount, yeah. I didn't get to watch as much yesterday. The funny thing is some of the best ones were going.
4 or 5 games yesterday.
I know, and some of the best ones were going. I missed half of the Arkansas one. I know ACUF went off, and Arkansas won their first title since Nolan Richardson. And then I caught the second half Purdue-Michigan, which Michigan hasn't been playing as well at the end of the season, and Vandy had the wild blowout of Florida, ended their 12-game winning streak. Purdue winning the Big Ten, pretty good. Pretty good job by Painter and company. But yeah, I watched a lot of it. I didn't see all the mid-major small ones, but they're also being left out of this as years go by. And I looked up earlier our question I had kind of asked out there, who was the Cinderella last year? So last season we didn't have, according to...
Yeah, it was as chalky as a bracket had been for quite some time.
Yeah, let me see here.
The bottom 4 seeds, 13, 14, 15, 16, I don't think any of them won.
Of course, literally, as I'm clicking it, my computer just freezes.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I believe the Yahoo article I had no 13, 14, 15, 16 win. Your definitional Cinderella by, seeding, it was Arkansas. They went on that crazy run, and I think they were an 11 seed in the tournament. And most people noted in the moment, not really the talent of a Cinderella, but, and it's Calipari, so that's,
That was more like an NC State or Villanova as a 9 or 10 seed sort of thing.
We'll give you who the Portland teams are going to be because we're going to have the NCAA tournament, and we're going to try to get some guests for that. That's coming up this week. And the bracket reveal's fun. I didn't really have a whole lot of, shocking, Auburn didn't make it, and so Bruce Pearl's all butthurt. Yeah. Miami, Ohio did get punished for not even getting to their semifinal of the MAC, but they're in. They're the last one of the last teams in. Here's a question that I have. When you look at picking teams, right? Who knows who's going to... It might be chalk again. I don't know what to do with this team that was maybe the most impressive conference title winner of all of them. How far is St. John's going? St. John's can't shoot.
I know.
But they just beat UConn by 20.
They can play defense.
To win the Big East.
They crash the offensive glass.
Their coach is Rick Pitino.
And it's Slick Rick.
It's unreal. I don't know what to do with St. John's because last year they were kind of the trendy pick, and I think they ended up losing to Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go double check that, but they can't shoot. I'm picking a team that can't shoot. Are you? I don't know what to do with some of these teams.
I would say for St. John's, I probably see them. Well, they would have what do they get? A 5? Who do they get?
St. John's is a 5. They play in Northern Iowa, and then they play the winner of Kansas and Cal Baptist.
That's right.
So they're in the East region.
So St. John, Kansas.
They potentially take on Duke
round.
In the Sweet 16.
So you've got another team in Kansas that you've got, okay, what are you getting out of Peterson? And they're spotty shooting too. They're on again, off again. That could be, the one thing about...
They're not beating Duke, though, are they?
I don't think so.
God, Duke is a wagon.
Duke's a wagon.
I might pick Duke to win the whole thing.
That wouldn't,
although Florida coming back, the repeat thing of Florida, and they finally lost their first game in 12. They weren't even in line to get a top 2 seed at one point.
They got hot. They figured it out. The young guards came in, but they got 3 7-footers on that front line.
Yeah, I looked through the bracket and I'm like, I don't want to go chalky. I may end up going somewhat. Am I going to take Arizona to get to the Final Four?
Arizona's loaded.
They are loaded. They also, that Iowa State game, talk about a lot of fun.
That was a semifinal game.
Dude, Heartbreak City, the way that game ended with tie game, guy has ball, good defense, game winner at the buzzer, walk-off.
Yeah.
Just Heartbreak City. Arizona ends up winning the Big 12. And then you got Michigan, who lost to Purdue. They got the 1. So your 1s are Arizona, Michigan, Florida, and Duke are your 4 1s in the East, South, West, and Midwest. Is there one bracket of the 1 that you think is the easiest?
Ooh, the easiest. I think the committee did Arizona a favor. I don't. Other than Purdue, who's the 3? Oh, the 3 seed's Gonzaga there.
Yeah, and Arkansas is the 4.
So I think Arizona's got the easiest path.
See,
They loaded up Duke's region. St. John's is a
yeah.
5 in Duke's region. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, they got Michigan State, UConn are the 2-3. I mean, UCLA had a nice little run in the Big Ten. I don't know if anybody's going to give them much leeway, but they
Michigan,
got
Iowa State potentially in the Elite Eight could be fun.
I think Florida got the easiest one because I don't really buy.
Yeah,
I don't
but
buy
they
Houston.
got to play Houston.
Yeah, I don't buy Houston.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah, North Carolina. That
who would you
Vanderbilt.
say after that?
That Vanderbilt squad, though.
Yeah, Vandy had a nice
If that
game.
nickel kid gets hot shooting threes.
Yeah, I think Florida might have got the easiest one. Kind of looking over this and double back. Yeah, because when I looked at it at first, I was like, and then I'm looking at it now. I
was
Florida got the
more,
easiest one.
wow, they stacked the deck against Duke. That was what I saw. I was like, that region seems a little more difficult than the other three.
Well, we'll tell you who the teams are that are going to be in Portland for the West Regional. We got the 8 teams out. We'll tell you who they are next on the NCAA tournament bracket. But first, Swag with a sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Big's Chicken. Try their smoked and fried wings, tossed with a perfect dry rub, served with a trio of killer sauces. Menus at bigschicken.com. First on the Fan. Blazers could not take advantage of the banged-up Sixers as they began a 5-game road trip as the NCAA tournament comes to Moda Center. Portland turning it over 18 times. They shot under 40%. Philly grabs the 109-103 win behind Quentin Grimes, leading 6 Sixers in double figures with 31. Portland and Brooklyn tonight to take on the Nets at 4:30 on KUMP Xfinity Channel 1016. Portland a 10.5-point favorite. Shams Charania of ESPN reporting this morning the NBA will hold a vote in a couple of weeks at the next Board of Governors meeting where it's expected they will approve the process to begin expansion exclusively for teams in Seattle and Las Vegas. They would begin play in the 2028-2029 season. NCAA brackets all set for the men's and women's tournament starting this week. For the men, the 1 seeds are Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Florida. The teams coming to the Portland region are Gonzaga, BYU, Arkansas, and Wisconsin. In the women's bracket, the Oregon Ducks drawing an 8 seed. They'll face number 9 Virginia Tech in round 1. Should they win that, they would likely face top seed Texas next. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour.
onions! Happy Onions Day, everybody. NCAA tournament bracket came out yesterday. And so, have you printed your bracket and already filled it out?
I printed it. I have not filled it out.
Bracket pools are beginning again, and I am a firm believer in filling out more than one bracket. And I think anybody that downplays it is no fun in life. That's my take.
Okay.
Dirt is a negative Nelly.
The sheet of integrity.
And I like to have a lot of fun and fill out multiple brackets. One year I filled out like 9 of them. Leave me alone. The Portland Regional, we're going to have the NCAA tournament back.
Yes. Thursday and Saturday games.
My brother-in-law texted me last week, and he's in Tacoma, and he texted me like during the show and was like, hey, man, thinking about coming down for the tournament. You going to be looking to go to any games? And I said, nah, overrated experience. And he went, okay, then. That was the end of the text conversation. And I kind of felt bad about that because I think he was hinting at trying to get me to go with him. Maybe I will, but like I also don't want to spend a crazy amount of money, and I already missed the media pass window.
If you were looking to take part of it, but you couldn't go the whole time, I would save your money and try to go Saturday. Because I think the matchups, I don't know if any of these teams are actually getting. I mean, there's always one surprise.
Well, don't they do crossovers back to back? So, couldn't you potentially get Arkansas, Hawaii, and then immediately after have DeBonsa versus NC State or Texas?
Yeah, it'll be. We've got the times.
Do you have the times?
Find the times for you. Yeah. Also, there'll be 4 games on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then all the winners play 2 games on Saturday.
I want the window of BYU, Arkansas. So here are your 8 teams before Swag tells us the tip times for the Portland Regional. You've got the 5 Wisconsin against the 12 High Point, the mighty High Point.
Yes.
You've got the 4 Arkansas, the SEC champions, against the 13 Hawaii. And then you've got the 6 BYU, and they face the winner of the 11 play-in, which will be between NC State and Texas.
Yep.
That could be Sean Miller.
Yeah.
Could be Will Wade. Is Will Wade going to leave after 1 year and go back to LSU? He's having to fight off that narrative. And then, hold on, you got 3-seeded Gonzaga, which will have the most fans here, hosting Kennesaw State.
Gonzaga's the late game, 7 o'clock.
Okay, so
that means game. BYU's right before them at like 4:30, 4:45, wherever that one is.
Okay.
So the first one, 10:50 a.m., Wisconsin and High Point.
I have no interest in that game.
And then
Arkansas, Hawaii.
Arkansas, Hawaii is around 1:30.
Okay, that's Thursday.
So that's the morning pair. So they get in pair sessions. So that's the early pair. Then you'll have to leave the arena, come back in. 4:25 BYU and whoever wins the play-in game.
So you have to have separate tickets, right? Don't you?
I believe it's 3 sessions.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So they're 2-game sessions. So
I just want the Arkansas and BYU game. Those are the only 2 games I care about. Now Gonzaga fans around here.
Arkansas is at 1:30, and then BYU is at 4:30. Gonzaga is at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I just want to see Acuff and DeBonsa. That would, like, as a viewer, and I'm not a Gonzaga diehard, like that would be my interest. Gonzaga fans going to flood the building.
I don't know where you see an upset coming. Maybe
why
BYU.
Can't Texas? BYU only has DeBonsa. They lost.
They lost
Richie Saunders.
And you're getting Texas or NC State.
Should we be overlooking High Point? What do you mean you don't see where the upset's coming from? Is Wisconsin good? They had a nice little Big Ten run in the tourney, but are they good?
Yeah, they're pretty good. The Big Ten, I think the Big Ten was a better conference overall than the SEC this year. Maybe not the Big 12.
Was it better than the Big 12? I think the Big 12 was the best.
The Big 12 was the best conference.
Yeah.
But the Big 10 was a gauntlet.
Yeah, I think we got a couple upsets potentially here. BYU could lose. 12-5 has always been a thing. I don't know anything about High Point.
Hawaii hasn't been in the tournament for I don't see Arkansas losing that.
That would kind of be shocking.
Do they have anybody that can guard Acuff?
Does anybody in America have anybody guarding Acuff?
That's the question. But Acuff could win that game single-handedly.
Arkansas losing, though, in the second round of Wisconsin.
That would be fun.
It wouldn't be fun.
So
you want to watch Wisconsin? Are they fun?
They're better than they used to be.
Do you know anything about Wisconsin? Are you oracling me right now?
So remember, the freshman for the Pilots last year, the big Aussie, the 6'10 Aussie.
He's at Wisconsin?
Threes, he went to Wisconsin.
That's the only reason you know is because you're following ex-Pilots.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but he went nuts in the
it.
second half of their semifinal against Michigan. He had 6 threes in the second half and almost brought him back from a 15-point deficit, and that game came down to the final minute.
So Gonzaga here, if they get the winner of the BYU, NC State, Texas situation, because I would assume they have no problem with Kennesaw State.
They should not.
Man, are they like an easy pick to win the next game?
Well, I don't know. The Pilots beat them. I don't know. I can't.
I don't know what to. My read on Gonzaga this year is weird. Like, they're 30-3. The Pilots beat them.
Yeah.
And, like, they got some...
Michigan housed them.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Gonzaga. I don't feel like Gonzaga's destined to have a real long run in this tournament, but, you know, Dirt's done enough damage for this show's reputation with a Gonzaga fan for me to get on here and say they're going to lose in the second round of this thing.
Gonzaga has... so they've got a guy, a defensive specialist. His name is Emmanuel Inocente. He's from the Ivory Coast, and he's about 6'6", athletic, and is a defense-first guy. I'm assuming he will have the initial defensive responsibility on Dabansa.
If Dabansa wins.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if they play BYU,
can't overlook NC State or Texas for a team that's missing a guy.
Yeah, Gonzaga, they still have Graham Ike, who I think is almost 25 years old.
Yeah.
And that guy's a double-double just showing up.
But you're a 3 seed. Like, the expectation of your fan base. I was talking with a coach this weekend at Jefferson because we had the playoffs just happen. And I want to get to that today, actually, my alma mater.
Some wild finishes.
Yeah, some crazy finishes. But I was talking with a coach at Jefferson this weekend, and I was like, hey, man, I think it was his first or second year at Jeff, and I was just talking about the history of Jeff, and like he didn't grow up here, I did. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, we've heard nothing but, hey, when's Jeff? Jeff only has like, I think they said 389 students at Jefferson. A daily count is probably 250.
Yes, there's a lot of discussion.
They should be in the 5A. But one of the old Jeff guys runs it, and he refuses to go down.
They refuse. Well, the problem is they want to be at 6A for basketball, but...
Cool, man. Like, are you ever going to win state again and compete at that level? Yeah. It's hard for me to believe it. So, anyways, I was getting into that, and he was just telling me about, like, why they do, why they don't, and the expectation factor. He's like, if Jefferson, if we don't win state, like, we hear about it from half the community.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, because it's Jefferson. Like,
well, there's still a lot of discussion of do they need to, because Jeff right now is just strictly about that neighborhood as opposed to the open enrollment, I guess, that the best of the PIL schools. But
Gonzaga's kind of this. Like, Gonzaga's a 3 seed, and even if this isn't one of their best teams, like, if they're not in the Sweet 16, it's a massive disappointment.
It is.
I think anything below a 5 seed and not in Sweet 16 is a massive disappointment.
If they do get BYU, EK will get their front line into massive foul trouble.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on BYU winning their opening game.
No, certainly they will be facing a team that will, talent-wise,
because Texas almost beat Florida about a week ago, and Will Wade. Will Wade's kind of slimy, but like he's a really good coach.
Yeah.
So if you told me BYU lost,
they won't be intimidated. I mean, NC State has played Duke and Clemson and North Carolina and all that. BYU's not going to intimidate them.
Who wins our region?
Probably Gonzaga.
Over your mighty Wisconsin or Arkansas?
Well, those two won't play each other.
Oh, you're right. That's not how it goes.
They're in different...
Yeah, you're right. It just has their little regional.
Wisconsin, Arkansas will be... If you get that game, that'll probably be the best game of the whole weekend. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm curious to see what the Zags going to be as a 3 seed, but... so we have the start times in Portland, and the 8 teams are, again, 12-5 Wisconsin High Point, and then Arkansas, Hawaii, 13-4, and then BYU will face the winner of NC State, Texas, who have a play-in in the 6-11, and then, as we mentioned, Gonzaga is a 3, and they take on Kennesaw State. That all starts on Thursday. Yeah. Pretty exciting to have the tournament here.
It's always a good time once you get down there. Like, if you're going and make a day out of it, weather's supposed to be pretty good this week. So, you start to see, all the fan bases. Look, there will be a ton of Gonzaga fans. There'll be a ton of BYU fans. We'll see how well Wisconsin and Arkansas travel.
I think Wisconsin travels pretty well. Arkansas, too. Arkansas just won the SEC title. They probably think they can get to the Final Four.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how on short notice easy it is to get from those places to Portland. as easy as it is from Salt Lake and Spokane.
Well, especially considering the TSA fiasco going on right now.
Yes.
3-hour waits in line.
So
Good luck, Dirt, with Teddy Ballgame and a TSA line. Good God, if this doesn't get solved by the time he goes to Hawaii.
Well, we were thrilled. Vegas, we didn't have any issues because the TSA, I guess the local community is supporting the TSA people, so they're still showing up to work in Vegas. We had no issues in Vegas.
They've tried to pass, I don't want to get into that, but
Yeah.
they've tried to pass bills to pay these people, and it's just like,
Yeah, I know.
no, we don't want to do it. It's like, okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, so the regional here in Portland, we've got the 8 teams. The NCAA tournament bracket is out. We'll fill this out tomorrow. We have to wait for Dirt. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a stupid game we
It'll
play.
give me a
waiting for
little
Dirt.
bit of time to do a modicum of research.
Why? I'm going to fill it out during the break. Wait, what are you doing research for? I'm going to laugh, by the way, if High Point beats Wisconsin. You've already
That's
told me
okay.
Santa Clara is going to beat Kentucky, and now you're telling me Wisconsin's really good, but you don't think you have them beating Arkansas in the second round. So I don't know what to make of your NCAA tournament takes. All right?
I don't know what to make of my own takes yet. That's why I need
blind
to do
darts.
a little research.
Well,
Just
why are
a
you gonna
little
do
research.
What a waste of time.
That's just what I do.
Just pick.
Nah.
Just blindly pick.
I don't want to blindly pick.
And move on. All right, we have a lot more to get into. The classiness of this individual making the institution not look very good.
No.
I want to talk about that today.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Back with more Dirt and Sprague. 105.1, The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up?
Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomservices.com.
Love to be standing where Cameron is standing right now, but overall, I still felt like I saw some nice things in my game this week.
That's Ludwig Oberg. Blew a 3-shot lead at the Players' Championship. This one was brutal. I had a bad feeling for him when he ended on 18 with a bogey. He was dialed. He was going through it, man. And right now, the person who's leading after 3 rounds on the PGA Tour, maybe not the person to pick to win the event. Cam Young, the young, nice golfer, ended up coming back, got a birdie on 17, and parred on 18 as Fitzpatrick ended up bogeying. And so Cam Young wins the Players' Championship. Who's stinking it up? Brought to you by our friends at Three Mountains Home Services. They have a sweet special this March. Purchase a new high-efficiency HVAC system and score a 16-year parts and labor warranty. 16 seasons of comfort starts now. Visit threemountainshomservices.com today. Tired of your... Well, this former coach just did the classiest thing an individual can do. Meanwhile, the institution has done no such thing, which is, it's the easiest layup. You could have handed them any kind of goodwill PR to do. It would have been this, and they have chose not to do it. Now, they probably will now because the pressure built up over the weekend. And if you told me after the show, during the show, tomorrow that it happens, I will go, oh, yeah, there it is, finally. Even though they should have done it immediately. And I'll tell you what that is coming up at the top of the hour. I want to imagine a scenario with you, Swag. No, you're not the biggest of fast food individuals. You're not the biggest of one. You will in a pinch, but I know you don't go there all the time.
No, I try to stay away from the fastiest of fast food burger joints. So I'll hit Panda Express and Victor Rico's. Those are the two in my immediate area that I frequent.
Victor Rico's, we obviously understand here at the Fan.
Oh, yes.
Panda is debatably more unhealthy than your standard other burger,
I understand.
Fast food.
I understand.
Okay.
But I can,
but
if I want tasty. A burger, I can make a tasty burger on the Traeger. Yeah. That's not an issue.
My mother-in-law showed up to my house Friday, like unannounced, and had like bags of Panda because that's what all the grandkids love.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn it. I had to open it. I had to have a piece of orange chicken. How would I not? It's
I try to get the entrees that at least have vegetables in it so I can.
Why? Why do you pretend?
I do. Well,
come on.
The vegetables I like, onions, peppers, green beans.
That's fine.
Mushrooms.
Look, the last time I got a meal from there, it was a broccoli and teriyaki chicken with rice. A lot of protein, somewhat healthy, but come on. The orange chicken's undefeated. But imagine a world where your last night, you're just deciding to have a guilty pleasure, and you go, you know what? We're going to go have a double-double animal style. You live in Los Angeles, and you're in there, and you're eating your burger, and you're enjoying a good time at a Hollywood In-N-Out. And in walks in with his little golden statue, Michael B. Jordan. Because that happened.
Yeah.
And I just can't fathom what that had to have been like. Because then everybody floods this, right? Everybody there is like, oh my God. So then they start calling their friends. So yeah,
social media travels fast.
Boom. Now the In-N-Out is packed. And there's Michael B. Jordan signing In-N-Out hats, getting his double-double animal style French fries and milkshakes. And behind him are legitimate paparazzis. He's taking like 1 million photos. He's signing these autographs. Then you've got all of the fans who are just like the cameras are out, the camera phones, people screaming at him.
Yeah.
And this guy just won the Oscar for Best Actor for his role in Sinners.
Did Sinners clean up? I watched the opening credits and stuff, and then I went to the WBC.
I wouldn't say any one move. I mean, I have to see
good.
who got
I like
the total.
there to be...
Frankenstein did well in the aesthetics count, the Guillermo del Toro one.
Okay.
And then One Battle After Another one, Picture of the Year.
Oh, okay.
And
that one I feel like I need to see.
Paul Thomas Anderson got Director of the Year for it, his first Oscar for that category. Coogler got Screen Adaptation, I think Screenplay.
Oh, because they have two. They have original, like a true one-off original, and then Best Adaptation
from a
of
book.
A previous, like a novel.
And I think Coogler won the original.
Okay.
Because he is a hell of a writer. His story is really cool. Professor told him to just drop out and go write for Hollywood, and he'd listen to it. Played at Sac State, by the way. Wide receiver. Leading receiver for 2 seasons. And then PTA, as he's known on the streets, Paul Thomas Anderson, I think he won the adaptation from the novel.
Gotcha.
But One Battle After Another, and then Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor of the Year. But yeah, what a crazy scene that would have to be in an In-N-Out watching.
That'd be the equivalent of Dame walking in after he just went bye-bye to OKC.
He's just at the Shake Shack or something.
And he walks into a Burgerville.
The Burgerville up the road from the Moda.
Exactly.
Just, can I get extra sauce on this? Patrick gave me a hot take last week during one of the breaks. He just watched Sinners for the first time. Because he's a lot like me and my wife. We don't see all of the Oscar movies.
Yeah.
A few of them. I wanted to watch Sentimental Value in theaters. I never ended up doing it. Just late to all these movies, and then you hear about some of the other ones. But he came in and was like, Sinners isn't even good. I was like, what? I saw that in theaters. I thought that was a great movie. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but I think it's really well shot. I think Michael B. was good in being the twins. I love the musical aspect tie into it. And he's like, well, it's still Dawn.
No, I
He
feel like
just
I need
poo-pooed
to
it.
see, what is it, one battle after another.
Yeah, with Leo.
So I'll probably see that one.
Sean Penn won Best Supporting
Best
Actor
Supporting
and then didn't show up.
How Sean Penn.
And not Macaulay Culkin. What's his brother's name? I'm blanking. He won it.
David?
No, not David.
I don't know.
No, not Roman. Roman was his character in Succession.
I have no idea.
Anyways, he won it last year, so he was the presenter.
Okay.
And he's like, he's not here. Or he chose not to want to be here. So I'm taking this on behalf of him. And he walked away, and everyone just started laughing because they couldn't believe the guy who won wasn't even there. He had some legendary actors up for that award that haven't won it. And they give it to the guy who hates the institution in general. So I thought the Oscars were fine. Good. I didn't like the cutoffs. They were removing the microphone, dimming the lights on people live on television to play them off.
Well, yeah. Why? I don't know. As a TV producer or a director, you would want to sign up for that gig other than it's prestigious and a lot of money. But
you're going to go long. We already know this. It's like you with the clock. Dirt and Sprague are not going to be perfect. It's going to happen. We're going to go. Oh, we're already over right now.
Yeah.
But it happens. You just got to kind of deal with it. You know what I mean?
But for a lot of those people, especially for like the behind the scenes stuff, it is truly their 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you make it 15 seconds.
I thought it was a great year of movies. I'll say that much. I thought it was a good year for cinema.
Yeah.
And I hope people are going to the movies still, even though, we got all these mergers that are probably going to try to kill the movie theater business. But nice little award show last night, and I just saw the Michael B. Jordan stuff at In-N-Out. I thought that was hilarious. Loaded third hour of the program. Classy move by this individual makes the institution not look so good. We'll start the third hour there. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network.
Golf.
of the radio program. Durden Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Monday, everybody. No Andrew Johnson today. He is on dad duty. Says he'll be back tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but I'll believe him on that. We will not fill out our brackets today. I know. I know. Calm down. I know that's the tough part. Everybody out there running to the radio, trying to hear who we're going to pick in the old pivotal 8-9 Clemson, Iowa matchup. Oh, I know you guys can't wait for that one. We'll make our bracket picks. Swag says he needs to do research anyway, to which I'll say, I won't do any research. I'm just going to pick, and then we'll see who does better. I love when the research person never ends up winning the tournament. There's a lot to get to. We have a development on the breaking news story we got to in the 6 a.m. hour that we'll bring to you today. But we start the second hour with a reminder. It's a big weekend for us. Hour number 3. Did I say second hour? Yeah, damn it. You leave me alone. It's Monday, all right? It's one of those days, all right? I'm just having my coffee. A reminder here, the third hour of the radio program, we will be at A on Thursday, Friday as a station. So come hang out with us, of course. But don't forget, wear your green and get your brackets. Isaac and Souk, hit the road or cobblestone path, get it, for a day of madness and Irish festivities in Hillsboro at Front Row Bar and Grill tomorrow, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Thanks to Tullamore Dew, Isaac and Souk will be bringing luck to your bracket and doing it with a glass or cocktail of Tullamore Dew by their side and a huge whiskey selection. Come hang out with the Fan Tuesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, at Front Row Bar and Grill off Embry Drive in Hillsboro, near Hillsboro Stadium.
Yes.
It's a St. Patrick's primetime party brought to you by Tullamore Dew.
Tullamore Dew.
There you go.
I enjoy me a good Tullamore Dew on the rocks.
A 4-paragraph read for the old Joe Fish. Go hang out at Front Row Bar and Grill in Hillsboro.
There's a good chance I might. That's
10 minutes from your house.
It's 5. It is a.
Is it 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speed demon over there, huh? I know that area. You're going
really
kind of fast.
Depends on the lights. It's Evergreen Parkway straight through.
Yeah, I get that, but come on.
It depends on. It could be 10 minutes with the lights. If you get green, you're blowing down Evergreen Parkway.
Look, I haven't said this on the air.
That is the most common, frequently post-Hops game watering hole right out there.
You and I tend to leave here from time to time at the same time, and yeah. I'll just say this. You're the one that's definitely getting on the on-ramp before me, the amount of speed you're accelerating at. You're a little bit of a speed demon. That's okay.
I am very much not a speed demon.
Disagree with you. You're a liar. Nobody
no.
wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it.
No.
If you're just tuning in this morning, good morning. I hope your commute's going okay. Hope your work's okay. If you're on the YouTubes, you're probably wondering because maybe you didn't wake up at the crack of dawn.
See, yeah, I had an interesting weekend.
Swag got into a bar melee, and he hit somebody with a bar stool, and then they came up with the pool cue and just smacked him right across the eye.
God, I wish that's what happened.
That then led to like 5 individuals taking their glasses and slamming over their head. We had broken beer bottles. We had police officers called. We didn't have Swag in handcuffs because he was the one defending the honor.
Exactly.
But if you're just tuning in on the YouTube, you're probably looking at Swag's eye going, damn, dude, that's a badass story. And none of what I said was true. It actually is maybe the most embarrassing way you could have that kind of injury, which is 6 stitches on your face.
Yeah, 6 stitches on your face because it was poker night at my boy's house, and I did not see the ottoman that was a foot off the ground.
Yeah.
Pretty much. As it was getting long in the evening.
How close to crying did we get?
No, it never. No.
Sometimes that area, though, can generate the tears.
Well, my eye is tearing up.
Yeah.
I'm sure it looks like I might be crying.
It looks disgusting. I got to be honest. It's
no,
pretty
I know.
puffy. It's got the it almost looks like a prison tat, like the tear hang down from a distance.
Yeah. So it's tearing up, but no, never. No, there was more just the shock of what happened, like, oh my God, what happened? Then you're trying to, okay, am I okay?
I would think the shock would be more like, did that really just happen?
No, I knew, because I knew the ottoman was there. It was so low to the ground, it was out of your, like, vision. I'm looking at the table coming back from his kitchen.
But you knew it was there, so, like, you just kind of omitted it from your memory.
And you would think, oh, poker night, how hammered was Swag?
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't even have that to claim.
Only one deep, right?
Yeah, I had one nice bourbon
Yep.
on a rock over the course of the evening that I sipped on for a while, and that was
you're
it.
not a neat guy, huh? You need the rock in there?
I like a rock. I like it chilled a little bit.
One of those big square round ones?
Yeah,
or?
it was a big square one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have that if you're going to do a rock.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Swag's eyes really messed up. If you run to the YouTubes, you can see it now.
But I was more worried about if I actually injured the eyeball, like my vision. That's what I was really concerned about.
But the eye is okay.
The eye's okay.
It survived. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you didn't get more seriously hurt, but that was a shocking text message
it looks
to
awful.
see yesterday.
And I wish that was it. Once I found out I was going to be okay, and it was, I'll probably have a little scar there eventually. But, yeah, then I was like, this is just, I was trying to think of a story that was plausible that I could get you guys going with for
The bar fight was the best possible scenario.
Yeah.
Me and my frat brothers played poker, went to a bar late at night.
Yeah.
This guy was popping off, said some racist stuff. We defended.
Exactly.
We don't like racism here, and here
I couldn't
it is.
even muster that.
Yeah, you couldn't even lie.
I have a hard time lying.
Well, a good story is okay, but
Yeah.
that's just such an outright lie compared to what really happened that it'd be egregious.
Yeah.
A lot to get to here in the third hour of the radio program. Classy or trashy? Let's play the fun game classy and trashy.
Yes.
And this involves my alma mater. How about
Yes.
this one? So yesterday, maybe some of you saw this, maybe you didn't, but I would highly advise you to see it because we need to support our local institutions.
Yes.
The Oregonian had a thank you in it from the old Wayne Tinkle.
Yeah.
The now former Oregon State coach. They lost in the WCC tournament, so his run at Oregon State comes to an end.
I think they got into the NIT or the CI. I thought they got into something.
The CBI is not happening. I saw that story last week. Did they get to the NIT?
Hang on, let me go look.
They're above 500.
Yeah.
Or no, they're 17-17 or 17-16. I can't remember what there was. Anyways, Wayne Tinkle's run is done. He did a thank you to Oregon State fans, the institution itself, and to add to the classiness of this, he signed Sincerely Wayne Tinkle. Below it, best of luck, Justin Joyner, who's having his introductory press conference today, and we are aiming to have him on the show tomorrow, so we might have the new coach.
I got to follow up. That may or may not happen. Apparently his window of availability is less than what they thought.
Well, Michigan's thing is kind of, he has to go to the Michigan schedule.
Yes.
It's not his own schedule. So
Right.
maybe we'll have him, maybe we won't. We're hoping to catch up and get to know him a little bit anyway. And I'm sure even though at the introductory press conference, this is going to get asked about. I mean, I don't know how it isn't. So Wayne Tinkle takes out this big thank you. It's a classy thing that I love when coaches or players do this. You don't have to do it to still be classy, but I think it's a real class act.
Well, especially after 12. It's not like he was there for 2 years and gone. He was there for 12 years.
He got him back to the tournament for the first time in 25 years.
His
he took
son
him to an
went
Elite
and
Eight.
played there.
Multiple coaches' sons went through there, and they were the reason. We had Gary Payton II get there and lead him back to the tournament. You then had the baby Coach Beeves of the Tinkles and the Thompsons. They led him back to the tournament. They got to the Elite Eight a couple years back. Like, his record might not be the most impressive. It was a great run for Wayne Tinkle at Oregon State. So he sends out a big thank you in the old paper of note. And as many people have pointed out, we pointed this out last week. Dirt brought this to my attention. And today, as I'm still sitting here, at least they posted something that I haven't seen.
I haven't seen anything. Nada.
They still have not posted a thank you, Wayne Tinkle, for all that you've done. And I'm just like, in a moment when the institution's in a weird spot. I highlighted this with Barnes hired Shepard and Joyner. We're two coaches that everybody went and said, I like the hire, but yet we don't like the guy. We don't like, and some people may give credit to the committees.
And you hope fans and everybody can separate
can rally
the
around
two, because, it looks like, they're the kind of modern coaches for basketball and football that you would hope to have, and they're ton of energy, and they come from major institutions that understand how you build success and all of those things.
Well, a lot of that's going to be the NIL spending and the backing financially.
Yeah, there's that too.
And
but
can't just be.
No, I know.
Hey, fans, you gotta. It's like, dude, we can only pony up so much.
At the same
in this economy, gas prices are stupid.
Yeah.
So you need boosters to step in here, and you need the right financial support if you want to truly have success. That being said, dude, like, you are an institution right now going through debatably one of your worst PR blunders in terms of perception and likability because of the athletic director. And you have two coaches that people are ready to support, are ready to say, hey, this is great. Your baseball program's rolling. Another series win this weekend against San Diego.
Yeah, they got the bats firing.
Yeah, they do. And the women's team came up just short in the WCC, but they're going to host Wisconsin in the WNBA.
That's what I was confused with. The women are hosting in the W.
They got Wisconsin coming to Corvallis.
Yeah.
And so those things are fine. It's your men's basketball program is kind of sunk a little bit. There's no denying that. And your football team just won 2 games. So you need them to be good. And the guy that gave a long extension and hired an internal candidate, both of those things reared their ugly heads. And he's sitting here just not having any success in terms of off-the-field reputation. You would think the easiest thing you could possibly do, like if I'm him and I'm hearing all the pundits and writers and you got these social media accounts that are just digging up all this stuff, I'm just getting battered every day with bad news after bad news. The easiest thing I can do to just have some goodwill, even if my name's not behind it, although I'm writing my own thank you, is I tell my SIDs, please post a big thank you to Wayne Tinkle for everything he did.
Yeah.
We're ending this. We're moving into a different generation, a new era. Like, put that out. I haven't done it. The easiest thing you could have done, you could have wrote 1 paragraph. Thanks, Wayne, so much for all the great memories, the Elite Eight, getting us back to respectability, guiding us from one conference into another. Like, sincerely yours, Athletic Director Barnes. It's the easiest thing you could have done. It's a layup if there ever was a layup. And the fact that you haven't done it, and Tinkle's writing a big thank you in the Oregonian?
Yeah.
It's obvious stuff, man. This is so obvious.
I so want Wayne to, he's not done coaching. He said that. I want him to go somewhere that embraces him and helps him have some success.
Oh, dude, if he goes
level.
to a place that can back a program financially, because my thing on him was it just was clearly falling. And
12 years is a long time.
But somebody did, I mean, I had people telling me behind the scenes, like, dude, that's way underfunded than it should be.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's good to know. And it's important to know because in this world, you're not competing if you don't have funding for it. If Wayne goes to a program, whether that's a mid-major or a lower-tier Power 4, and they back it, and you tell me that they're good, like Fran McCaffrey got fired at Iowa after so many years. He went back to Penn. Guess who's in the NCAA tournament?
There you go.
So, like, coaches don't forget how to coach. Sometimes you need a restart, a refresh. And if you told me Wayne goes to another institution and has success and is in the NCAA tournament again, I'm not going to be shocked. I hope Joyner's the right guy for this job. But it's just the lack of class, dude. Like, that was the minimal amount you could have done is just post a thank you tweet the day after it was announced.
And I don't know at what point the administration...
Let's not get it. I didn't even want to talk about that.
No. I know
the administration
and what
the president backs this dude. Gave him the
Wayne's message was
Believer of the Year award.
So good, so heartfelt, so personal.
Yeah,
it was great.
If
you haven't read it, go find it because it's fantastic.
You can find it online. If you don't have the Oregonian, subscribe to the Oregonian. Let's support local journalism here. All right, let's do that. But if you don't do that, you can go find the thank you online. It's all over the place.
Yes.
So, yeah, dude, the easiest layup, and you can't even do that, which kind of sums up the Oregon State experience at this point. Hopefully, Joyner, we hear from the press conference today, gives us some good stuff, and hopefully we're rooting, obviously, for Jamarcus Shepard to turn the football program around as both go into the new conference. A lot to get to here in the third and the fourth hour. Dirt and Sprague, we roll along on 105.1, The Fan. By whatever could it be? Swag doesn't know. He's scanning, he's perusing. Oh, the old internet. Constantly giving us breaking news. According to one Adam Schefter.
Oh, what's Shefty got for us here?
The New York Jets are finalizing a deal.
Oh, God.
That will send quarterback Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs.
What are they getting back?
There's no reporting on that. Other teams are interested, but Fields' preference was to always end up in Kansas City and Andy Reid. Massive move. I mean, we cannot stress enough what this means. Is Gardner Minshew done? Is Minshew magic over?
Wow.
Is Fields going to be the next Michael Vick, the quarterback to turn his career around under old Andy Reid?
Well, if there's anybody that can do it, learning from Patrick and Andy Reid's probably the place for him to go.
Want a hot take? I don't think Fields is that dude. So, Andy Reid. No, Andy Reid. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, if he can't do it there, if he can't figure it out there, then he can't figure it out.
Have you found the off-season NFL trades a little...
lacking?
Not lacking, kind of like underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like we're hearing reports of guys being released, and then it's like a week later almost, it comes back and it's like, Geno actually hasn't been released. He's been traded. And it's like, wait, I thought that guy was getting... The Rashawn Gary news was like that. The Packers were just going to outright cut him, and then the Cowboys gave late draft capital for him. It's just interesting how teams are navigating the offseason so far. We'll have more NFL stuff, probably more tomorrow. I got some stuff on the show sheet I want to throw at Dirt, as he is out today. But Justin Fields, I can't believe that's big breaking NFL news.
Well, anything NFL is breaking news.
You're not wrong, but I did wonder, like, going back and playing, remember week one? You remember? Remember berries? Remember Justin Fields against the Bills?
Oh, yeah.
And we all were like, oh, my God.
Oh, they're going to, maybe they figured it out.
He has figured this out. Justin Fields has tapped into the NFL finally. He's got this. And I'd say about 7 weeks later, he was finally benched. And by the way, that was after Aaron Glenn claimed he wasn't even thinking about making a change at quarterback. It was like 2 weeks after that. It was Scott Barnes and Trent Bray 2.0 was the same thing. That's my guy. What do you mean I'm not going to do anything?
I don't know why coaches talk in absolutes anymore unless it's such a no-brainer that everybody understands it. Why would you ever talk in absolutes? It's such a fluid thing.
Do you get coaches with a good reputation that talk in absolutes, or is it more a first, second-year coach deal?
No. I think John Harbaugh does that at times. Now, sometimes they do it to end. Sometimes it's a purpose pitch to try to end a questioning narrative from they just don't want the questions anymore. So they give a declarative statement hoping it ends.
They don't see the future potential move where those questions arise again. That's what's funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Every once in a while I can see where it's like, okay, this is nonsense and I need to stop it. So let me just say this. And I'll deal with whatever backlash might come down the road.
Bigger deal. The Chiefs trading for Justin Fields or the Chargers keeping Trey Lance?
It's actually the Chiefs trading for Justin Fields.
Why?
Just in case Mahomes gets hurt.
Well, what if Herbert gets hurt? We saw Trey Lance.
Yeah, I know, but it's
who's better between those two guys? Who would you rather have?
I think I might rather have Fields, simply from the fact that he's
a better runner.
He's a better runner. He's been in the fire before. Like Trey Lance hasn't really ever been in the fire.
You get the fire in your gut? Is that what Trey Lance is? You get the fire in your gut?
Maybe.
Okay. Adam Schefter trade. We don't have the details on the trade, but it just came across the wire about 15 minutes ago.
I can't believe it's for anything more than a 6th or 7th round pick.
I mean, if this is like for a 5 or a 4, there's no way.
No.
There's not a chance.
No.
What are we doing? Why did I even say that? That'd be the dumbest trade of all time. Dallas Goedert's going to stay in Philly. He was on a weird deal. He was a free agent, but he wasn't a free agent.
Oh, okay.
There was a contract. There's like a timeline on the deal.
Yeah.
He had to reach an extension with Philly.
Yeah, I wouldn't know why the Eagles wouldn't want to keep him.
Well, they figured out a deal. They reworked things.
It was more if Goddard thought he could, have a better deal somewhere else.
The Giants have signed Darnell Mooney. over the weekend, and the
Okay.
Titans have restructured Calvin Ridley.
Well, good.
Yeah.
The Titans need a lot of help, and any cap room they can free up is good because they need help everywhere.
I really like the Titans offseason, I think.
I will be curious to see what Saleh can do, and if
Dayball at OC.
yeah.
Don't overlook that part. I didn't like the receiver they signed. I'm blanking on his. They just signed him from the Giants. Damn it! So many moves. Can't remember them all.
Hang on.
But I like adding the defensive presence that they did. I think Saleh's going to have that defense ready to go. I hope that Dayball and Cam Ward are a good fit. I think they will be, but
They should be.
it's been a hot minute since Dayball. I think people have looked at Dayball in a positive manner.
I think the attitudes are both no nonsense. I mean, the way we heard Cam Ward talk during the season, how his team just sucked.
Dude, and that's talk about no nonsense. Cam Ward's a no nonsense.
He's a no nonsense guy. I think Dayball's a no nonsense guy. So I think those guys, once they they find their common ground and build a little relationship, they can go into the room and be totally honest, and Dayball go, Cam, you missed that. That's on you.
No doubt.
And Cam he's not going to freak out. He's not going to be like, yeah, you're right.
Well, Dayball and Saleh.
Cam can go to Dayball and go, why did you call that play here when I'm looking at this?
Dayball and Saleh have a good relationship. They actually didn't like each other. They had like a New York kind of thing go on.
Yeah.
Or no, it was prior to New York. And then when they both got to New York, Saleh thought Dayball hated him because he didn't shake his hand after a game once when Saleh was the D coordinator.
I think they're both just intense competitors.
That's what he figured out. And then they ended up having like family hangs.
Yeah.
Like his family would come over to his
Wan'Dale
house.
Robinson is the receiver that you're looking for.
Good player. Thought they overpaid for him a little bit.
Probably. But if they reduce Calvin Ridley's...
Yeah, they restructure everything.
Restructure that
They don't
deal.
have to pay Ward for another 2 years.
There's a fair amount of decent receivers in this draft. They can find one maybe in the second or third round.
Yeah. So the big breaking news in the National Football League, Justin Fields has been moved as a Chief.
Yeah, not quite what Shams gave us to start the show.
We'll get to that in the final hour. We'll revisit the Shams breaking news that we had in the 6 a.m. There's also been a wrinkle thrown into that. We'll talk a little NBA. Coming up next, interesting time in Blazerland. Let's get to that, and then we'll get to the Players' Championship as well as Cam Young won that thing over the weekend. But first, Swag with the Sports Update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers started a 5-game road trip in Philly Sunday evening, could not take advantage of the banged-up Sixers squad. Quentin Grimes led 6 of his teammates in double figures with 31. Portland turned it over 18 times, and they lose 109-103. They'll try again tonight in Brooklyn against the pathetic Nets, where Portland's 10.5-point favorites. 4:30 tip on KUNP, Xfinity Channel 1016. That breaking news we referred to from Shams Charania earlier in the show from ESPN, the NBA is scheduling to hold a vote at the next Board of Governors meeting in a couple of weeks, where they will lay the groundwork to add expansion teams exclusively in Seattle and Las Vegas. If all goes well, those new teams would begin play in the 2028-2029 season. NCAA brackets all set for the men's and women's tournaments that begin this week. For the men, the 1 seeds are Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Florida. Here are the top teams coming to Portland this week: Gonzaga, BYU, Arkansas, and Wisconsin. In the women's bracket, the Oregon Ducks drawing an 8th seed. They will face 9th-seeded Virginia Tech in their opener on Friday at 10:30. If they win, they would likely face top seed Texas. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Recruiting with Andrew Nemec.
All right, welcome back in. We have bit-breaking association news in the 6 a.m. hour we got to. We'll get to that in the final hour of the radio program. Dirt and Sprague here on your Monday morning commute, 8:34, bright and early here on a Monday. Hope everything was going okay. Hope the weekend was fine. Supposed to have some good weather, I think, for the next couple days. Might get a little warm around here. Not such a great weekend for your old beloved Trailblazers. They narrowly beat the bad Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
That one was uncomfortably tight.
I didn't even pay any attention to that.
Don't blame me if you did, and I don't think anybody did. And then yesterday afternoon, they had a delightful little East Coast Sunday afternoon game against the old 76ers.
Yeah.
Who have not been playing well as of late because Paul George has been suspended, Maxey got hurt, and Embiid has not been playing. So it's been VJ Edgecombe, Trendon Watford.
Quentin Grimes has certainly taken advantage. He's on a heater.
Justin Edwards.
Yeah.
Guys you haven't heard of, but you kind of have.
Adem Bona.
Yeah, Bona.
Former UCLA Bruin.
Yeah. They beat the Blazers yesterday.
Yeah. Well, Portland came out. It looked like they were going to – their quick timeout was like, 12-5 in the opening 2 minutes or something. Old Nick Nurse needed a timeout. It's like, hey, I'm Nick, that's not how we play.
I'm kind of stuck here. I got to be honest with you. And
then they just sort of farted around for...
In my stratosphere of real life, I'm hearing more and more from Blazer fan that, it's a very I don't really care vibe.
I'm getting that sense, too.
And I think people online are,
well, I think,
delusional
they know they're
bit.
stuck in their spot. They're going to be either 9 or 10, depending on if Steph comes back for the Warriors and they get their crap together or not.
But losing yesterday to this Sixers team when Jeremy
that
played 30...
That should set off alarm bells, but I think also they know the sale is going to happen, and I think...
Players are not thinking about that at all.
Well, players aren't.
That's what else matters?
But you're talking about fans. I think fans as far as...
I think fans are tired. I heard from three different people this week that I don't normally see very often. They're all telling me the same thing. It's like, yeah, dude, same thing it's been for 4 years now. We're not very good. But this playing thing makes you think that, there's something here. And so now their campaign push is playoff push. Come watch our playoff push.
Well, they got to sell tickets somehow.
Well, they got the 77 experience at least.
Yeah. You want a piece of the floor?
That's kind of cool. I mean, no, I don't really care because
pay what they're asking for it.
How small is that piece going to be, by the way?
I think they were 2 square inches is the first one, and then I think there was it was 6 or 7 square inches.
You could find old basketball court. You could polish it. You could put it off 2 square inches and tell me that's a 77 court, and I wouldn't know if you're lying to me or not. I'm not saying the team's doing that. The team is absolutely selling the court. I'm just saying, I don't think it's that big
knowing where it's coming from, you would believe in the authenticity of it.
My wife this weekend went to a thrift store and found a bobblehead of Nick Batum and Greg Oden. That's cooler to me than a 2 square inch piece of hardwood, personally.
Exactly.
But I get why people like it. I mean, you got other things you can sell. My whole thing is the campaign is come watch the playoff push for us. It's you guys can't be the lowly Sixers.
I know.
Sixers were absolutely in the playoffs until all these injuries happen. Then they crumble. Then they fall down. Your fourth quarter performance, you had this big run, and then it gets silenced and taken away. Sixers almost handed you an opportunity. I don't know what Denny was doing at the end of this basketball game. And Drew Holiday ended up with 5 points in 24 minutes. Scoot ended up playing 24 minutes. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well.
None of them shot.
Actually, none of them really did. Yeah, statistically, Denny just got to the line a bunch. I don't know. They're in the play-in, but I think you're getting to the territory where it's impossible for them to get out of the play-in. It is mathematically going to be
6
impossible.
or 7 games down with 15 to go.
You're not doing that.
You have to tank.
The other teams won't let you even if you do tank.
Yeah.
So I think
unless all the other teams start playing each other and one of them has to win a game, but I don't think there's enough of them for that to happen.
Are we ethically tanking? There's been a lot of ethic conversations in the old association lately, Swigart. Are we ethically tanking? We're trying to win, but we kind of don't really care if we lose. And maybe the basketball gods give us the Hawks, Mavericks, Spurs.
I think they're actually trying to win, and they're not effectively doing it.
If you're trying to win and you lose to that Sixers team, we need to have much bigger roster conversations.
Thiago, and they're trying to win.
Damian Lillard's not changing this that much.
No.
How did the Bucks fare with Dame and Giannis playing? They weren't amazing.
No.
So, you're going to tell me that 36, 37-year-old Dame off an Achilles added to this group that can't beat the Sixers is changing everything for you? kind of losing me on that.
I'm shifting my conversation or my thought process to, is Thiago the guy that I want next season?
Look, I'm not anti-Thiago the way some fans are like telling me schematically
I'm
what he
evaluating that now.
It needs to be opened up.
But
this organization didn't open up the last head coach effort, and if we're being honest, they did, but they didn't.
Right.
And the general manager job wasn't opened up. It was Joe's.
Yeah.
This needs to, at a minimum, be open. If Thiago's the right guy and they feel that way, then okay, pick Thiago.
Yeah.
This cannot be just name him that. You need to open this bad boy all the way up and see who truly is the best coach for this and the roster you're building. They cannot handle this with just, the internal guy is going to be the guy that we hand the job to because, he did a relatively fine job given everything that has happened with the Chauncey Billups stuff off the court. I'm watching that game yesterday, and I'm like, well, Klingon's playing, Grant's playing, Tamani's out there, Rob Will played 20 minutes. Like, everybody's playing. And it's not good enough for this Sixers team. And that doesn't have to mean, like, some of these players won't matter for you next year. You're certainly going to bring back a decent amount of these guys, especially if you can't end up trading a couple of them. And then I think, what do they have? They have the Nets tonight. They got a back-to-back, so then they get the Nets. Then they have the Pacers. You look at it, and they're just going to be hovering in this 9-10 play-in stuff the whole rest of the way, whether they host the play-in or not. Then they're at Minnesota, by the way, and at Denver. Minnesota's going to be desperate to beat you, and I don't believe you are capable of beating Denver at Denver at this junction. Then you come home against garbage Brooklyn, garbage Milwaukee, garbage Dallas, garbage Washington. So you have potentially to win a couple games in a row.
That's where they need to start figuring out. Like, I want to see them.
But those are such bad teams that you don't figure anything out. And I would have thought that about yesterday, and you lost.
No, I understand that.
I don't think Philly's that good.
But if you're home against those 4 crappy teams, that's where I want to start. I'm not that I'm going to watch all those games, but I'm going to look at a box score and see that you handled them by 12 to 15 points. Like, those games should not be close.
We have 14 games left.
Yeah.
And the season is... This is it. You're in the 9-10. You cannot tank out of it.
Nope.
Ethically tank, all that, like that's over. You're in the play-in. Whether you host or not, I don't know. If Kawhi plays, you can't beat the Clippers. If Steph plays, I don't believe you can beat the Warriors.
No.
If this is, kind of what you are.
I don't know. Contrive this to say, okay, we want to host that play-in game. If I'm in there, I need to come up with something to.
Will they sell out the play-in? Because what they haven't talked, they're not. I see a lot of empty seats in that Moda Center.
Yeah.
I think fans are kind of telling us with their money.
Because they're stuck. They're absolutely stuck.
It does. Stuck's a good way of putting it.
And so unless you are into...
I've shifted to all draft stuff. I'm like reading about prospects now. Yeah. I don't care about the play-in.
No. You're more interested in the NCAA tournament and guys coming in here. DeBounce's going to come in.
Do we draft Acuff if we have him?
Boy, that's...
See you later, Scoop. I think they do.
They
had a veteran point guard who had made All-NBA and won you playoff games, and they drafted
we know they're not worried about having
a
logjam at that position.
No, they love that position.
If you take if you end up with the 4 pick for some reason, because it's the top 4 now that
you're probably taking Caleb Wilson, right?
Does
Acuff go on a run here?
How hurt is Caleb Wilson? I don't know.
God, I hope they win the lottery.
You got that guy who can, score 25 a night, and if he can still distribute the basketball and you think he can play defense,
sure.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Weird spot to be in, man. Not great. Not a good loss yesterday against the old 76ers. They play Brooklyn. Let's get to something that did matter over the weekend in sports. The Players' Championship happened. What did Swag make of Cam Young coming back? Ludwig Oberg blowing the 3-stroke lead in the Players' Championship. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan.
Big hits, big bets, big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Layin' Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
Shot is good! He hit it! 1 second! Mullen heaved! That one almost went!
ESPN2 on the call. The Ivy League title game. TJ Powers 3 sends it to overtime. He had 44. Talk about laying the wood. The fighting Fran McCaffrey Pennsylvania Quakers are back in the NCAA tournament. For the first time since, I believe, 2017, Fran McCaffrey, the head coach there, TJ Powers, Lane Wood. Lane Wood Report brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. Delivery, custom cutting, special orders, you name it, they have it. Great folks and customer service over there on Southeast Stark Street and online at mrplywoodinc.com.
Hey guys, Sprague here for my friends at Mr.
Welcome back in. Durance Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope your weekend was great. In the final hour, which is just right around the corner. It's going by fast today.
It has.
We will revisit the big breaking news from the old 6 a.m., and we've got an added wrinkle to it.
I'm curious about the wrinkle.
I think you've seen it, and you're just not remembering. That's okay. We'll get to that. In the final hour of the radio program, I do want to talk a little bit about the players. This is going to be a weird thing here, because what's going to happen is we're going to talk about the players. You're going to give me your thoughts on Cam Young winning it, a nice young player.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, old Butthurt Dirt's going to come in, he's going to want to talk about the Players' Championship. And now we're going to have two golf segments. And I don't
have a problem with that.
I know you don't. You used to do a golf show.
Yes.
Religiously here.
Yeah.
But, to golf. But, maybe golf and the NBA are kind of the same thing for people. Cam Young came back and won the Players' Championship, the unofficial fifth major. I love how golfers have poo-pooed that idea, but basically everybody covering the event referred to it as the unofficial fifth major, and they always talk about, like, how outside of the majors it's the biggest tournament to win. If you missed this one, Oberg, I think I'm saying his last name right there. Oberg. He's a young up-and-coming golfer. He's had a good little run to his start of his career. He was dominating this tournament for a while there.
Yeah, rounds 2 and 3, he was threatening to run away from the field. Probably should have had a 4 or 5 shot lead.
And that was my red flag of like why I probably wouldn't have bet him to win the final round is on 18, he bogeyed, and it just didn't feel like a good bogey to have. You're only 3 shots up. Then they get to the final round. He completely crumbled.
Yeah, every time I looked up, he was hitting his second shot from a bunker or the pine straw or something.
Just no good at all. And then Cam Young took advantage. Him and Matt Fitzpatrick got into a battle.
That was great. They were in the same pairing, second to last pairing,
Perfect.
And they were going, that's what you want.
I think if there's any nightmare scenario for golf, it's a group that the guy wins it, but he is like 4 or 5 ahead of the final group.
Somebody goes super low, shoots a 63, 62, and then
very awkward.
You're all waiting for everybody to come in.
And Cam Young ended up securing it with a tap-in little par putt. You did have Fitzpatrick. Cam Young missed the off-the-green birdie attempt for the win, which I do love having an event come down to a walk-off.
When you clinch it with a birdie on 17 at TPC Sawgrass, and the wind was whipping in the final round.
Yeah.
That's you winning a golf tournament.
And then Fitzpatrick missed about a 9-10 footer that was for par that would have put into a playoff. And so Cam Young ends up winning the Players. So a couple notes on this. You had Morikawa leave after like the first hole. He had back issues. Rory was questionable going into the tournament, and he finished, I think, at even par. But now he's wondering if he's going to be ready for the Masters because he's got a little bit of issues.
3 weeks to get it together.
Scheffler did his usual play like dog crap, barely make the cut, and then have an amazing third round and finish pretty decently.
I want to know what's going on behind the scenes. Something's going on that nobody's talking about. I don't know if it's an equipment change. I don't know if...
Well, he was asked about that. I don't know if you saw this. He was asked about that. They're like, hey, what's the key to your slow starts? What's happening here? And he said last year literally was the best in the tour, so nothing. He just was like, just random.
It's just golf.
There's nothing behind the scenes according to him.
Okay.
It's just golf is golf, and he's playing well after the first and a half rounds of a tournament, and then he puts it together.
Okay.
But Cam Young winning the Players' Championship. What do you put that in the
it took him forever to win his first tournament, and now he's won 2, and it's always the case. We saw with Scottie Scheffler, like his first 72 starts or whatever it was, he couldn't find a way to get the victory. Once guys, individually, there is no more pressure on your shoulders, in your head, than trying to win a PGA Tour tournament.
Sure, the first one.
And especially when you get close, look, when you first get out there, you just want to establish yourself. You want to keep your card. You want to, learn the courses, all that stuff. Once you realize you have the talent to win golf tournaments, then trying to close one out is a whole process in and of itself. And then once you finally do, and the confidence that you gain was, okay, I know it. I'm not going to panic. I don't have to look at the leaderboard. I can just trust my game, all of those sorts of mental things that you play inside your head. Then you're freed up. And plus, the other security, people forget the security when you win a PGA Tour, you have a 2-year exemption. You're in anything you want to play in for 2 years, essentially, other than making sure you qualify for the majors. And when you win, you get in all of them for the first year. So that, not worrying about keeping your card, getting into the signature events, all of that sort of stuff, once you can just play golf and focus on playing golf, boy, it makes it a lot easier to keep winning.
Is Cam Young, do people like Cam Young, or is he still so young that people are still feeling that out?
Well, he's relatively new. He's not an effusive, emotive guy. So I think people don't necessarily understand, know much about him personally. So it's hard to...
I can't say I know much other than I've seen his name a lot on the top of leaderboards.
Yeah, he's got the big, thick beard.
Yeah.
He's
kind of quiet.
He's quiet.
He had one, I think it was the third round. He stuck one on round 3 on 17 to the point where it almost rolled in.
Yeah,
he put it within a foot.
Yeah,
and everybody thought it was going to be a hole-in-one. And so you got that. You had a nice little finish there. Xander Schauffele classified as a winner, according to many golf writers, because he was dealing with a rib injury, and he was in contention. Didn't play particularly well in the third round, but he saved it just enough. But he finished up getting a third in this. And then Justin Thomas, a familiar name, he had an awful Arnold Palmer Invitational. He finished
that was his first tournament back from back surgery. So he's playing his way into it. So that's a good result for him. And we'll see how he's feeling if he plays in the next event, or he'll play in one before the Masters.
Do we have any elevated events between now and the Masters?
Let me check.
Because the Masters is about, 3 weeks away?
Yep. Let me check the schedule here real quick.
I'm surprised you don't know the top of your head. You're golfing in the Northwest, by the way. I mean, I just would have thought you knew that. I think either way, I mean, look, the Players is great. I got my oldest. She saw me watching golf. It's like, oh, how boring of you. I said, just watch this. See that? They got to hit it on that island. And she was like, oh. And so she watched a few of the tee shots on the 17 green.
No, the next signature event is the RBC right after the Masters. So you've got what do we got here? We got the Valspar at Innisbrook. Then they go to Texas for the Houston Children's Open and the Valero Texas Open.
Who are you going to pick for the Masters? Do you have a pick already?
I don't have a good feel yet.
Okay. See what Cam Young can do after winning the Players.
Yeah.
Pretty big accomplishment for everybody on the tour to win that tournament. Loaded final hour of the radio program. Move on from Cam Young winning the Players Championship to the big news this morning. Expansion coming to the association and the added wrinkle and element, newsy part for Seattle, Vegas, and the rest of the league. We'll get to that. We got our FUP update in the final hour. Dirt and Sprague, 4th hour, 105.1 The Fan.
Presented. McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers start their 5-game road trip with a thud in Philly. They turn it over 18 times, shoot just 39%, go down to the Sixers 109-103. Quentin Grimes led Philly with 31 points. Portland's in Brooklyn tonight, taking on the Nets 4:30, KUNP, Xfinity Channel 1016. Shams Charania of ESPN reporting this morning the NBA is scheduling to hold a vote at the next Board of Governors meeting in a couple of weeks, where they will lay the groundwork to add expansion teams exclusively in Seattle and Las Vegas. If all goes well, those new teams would start play in the 2028-29 season. Paul Skeens and 5 relievers held the Dominican lineup to just 1 run. Team USA got home runs from Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony for the 2-1 victory, securing their spot in the final for the 3rd straight World Baseball Classic. They await their opponent from tonight's semifinal between Italy and Venezuela. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Seahawks.
Hey, welcome back in. Final hour of the radio program, flown by here on a beautiful Monday. Durden Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, and the YouTubes. Good morning, YouTube. Fan text line is 503-864-6326. We got new, updated, cool, kick-ass YouTube cameras, is what I was told. We got Dan the Man. He's been in here since 5-something a.m.
Yeah, 5:40-ish, I want to
I feel like we're going to get an email at around 1:30 from Dan that says, if you need me, I will be out of the office now. I'm going to go sleep. But no, it's been great. Thanks for everybody hanging out today. Dirt out. He will be back tomorrow is what he is saying, as don't forget, this is the week of the NCAA tournament. And so after we get past these dumb play-in games that don't count for anything, we'll have the actual tournament, and that will start Thursday, Friday.
There's one that will send a team to Portland, so...
Yeah, but it doesn't count, so...
It does.
So Texas loses the play-in to NC State. They're going to say they made the NCAA tournament?
Yes, they get a full share, and these stats count as opposed to the play-in from the NBA, where it's not a true playoff game because the stats don't count. These stats count in NCAA tournament games, and they get a share of the money.
Sure, yeah.
So they count more than the play-in counts.
Hooray. Yeah, I would love to hear that be bragged about from the head coach. Hey, we made the play-in of the NCAA tournament.
Oh, you don't think coaches are going to say, I made 16 straight tournaments if it keeps the streak going?
If Sean Miller got fired, he'd be like, we made the tournament last year. Like, but you didn't beat NC State to get in the tournament.
Power conference, so
yeah, okay.
What does that mean?
The point is, we will be live as a station.
Yes.
Out at A. Tom's Watch Bar.
Right.
Thursday and Friday.
Exactly.
There's not a better place to watch, to come hang out, to lay some bets, to be responsible, teach us how to play craps. I'm actually watching a YouTube video today.
Yeah, can we get the boss? I would love, can they arrange, all of us coming out there? I'd love to have a tutorial.
Watch YouTube.
Man, there's something different. I'm more hands-on.
I bet you are.
Yeah, I am.
See that from your eye.
I'm handsy.
A lot to get to in the final hour of the program. I want to recognize our local heroes coming up here in the final hour.
Okay.
And I'll give you a wrinkle, but we must start the final hour of the radio program.
Where are you going?
The big breaking news from this morning.
Yes.
At 5:45 a.m. Pacific.
I always love it when we get breaking news right there.
Me too. And it's not shocking breaking news, but it's breaking news nonetheless.
It's breaking news that it's actually officially going to happen.
Well, it impacts us.
Yes.
The funny thing is you say it's going to happen. We've been talking about this as if it's a done deal and an absolute.
There's still hoops they got to jump through.
I went and looked at people up north, and some of them are not ready to celebrate yet, and I find that very odd. So the news is, if you're just getting in your car this morning, hello, welcome. Shams Charania at ESPN is reporting that the Board of Governors meeting on March 24th, 25th, the NBA Board of Governors will vote on expansion for specifically Seattle and Las Vegas. 2 teams splitting the shares from 30-32, and those are the only 2 cities up for vote of the Board of Governors. They need 23 of the 30 governors to vote yay on that. There may be a couple. I highlighted earlier, I think Jim Dolan could be a nay just because Jim Dolan hates Adam Silver and he'll do anything against Adam Silver. But a lot of the intel and what I said earlier is I just don't think this is going to get leaked to Shams unless they feel like this is a 25 to 26, 27 out of 30 are going to vote yes to this.
You don't send bills to the floor for a vote unless you believe your whip count has you winning it.
Unless you feel great about it.
Yeah.
And so them announcing this, now some of the fallout in Seattle, because I went and looked at some of the media members' accounts, there's a lot of people celebrating this. There's also some people that are like, I'm not ready to be hurt, so I'm not all the way in yet. And I'd say, don't blame me for that. We haven't lost our team. By the way, now we won't.
Yeah.
So the whole Portland to Seattle thing that has just somehow been written and talked about forever. Just never
it's like
died.
The Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, and just was fear-mongering at the highest of levels for no reason.
No.
Is probably been put to bed, especially with the legislation that's been moved forward of funding the Moda Center revamp. And I know people feel a certain way about that, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But Seattle and Las Vegas are the 2 franchises. Now, Seattle's an easy one. It's right in place. You got climate, so you got to share it with the Storm and the Kraken. It's a beautiful arena.
Yeah.
I go up there every year for a WNBA game. And every time I come back, I'm like, dude.
It's going to be amazing.
I wish we had a revamped arena because you go in there, and I went to Key Arena, and I can't believe that's the same building.
And whoever's going to be in charge of the renovations of Moda, please go up and talk to them.
Yeah, give us like a kind of a cool, different vibe of a building. It's so cool.
Figure out the acoustics that they have set up because it's as loud as any building I've ever been in, but it's crystal clear and there's no din, reverberation, echoey nonsense.
Give us whatever that renovate. Give us something similar.
Go talk to them and figure out what they did.
Now, it's a pretty easy layup for whoever it's going to be. And now a lot of people right now, the intel is that they think it's going to be the ownership group that owns the Kraken will be the group that steps forward.
The smoothest transition because they already essentially control the building. They are working with the other franchises, so scheduling, you're not going to butt heads where people are fighting for dates. It's the same entity.
Yep.
So you're going to work it all out, and you try to spread it out to give each team the number of optimum weekend dates, that sort of thing. So yeah, that would and they've got the financial backing to do it without any issue.
Now the NBA is aiming for $7 to $10 billion in expansion fees here.
Yeah.
Which is. Yeah, that's a lot of money, though. Not a lot of groups have that kind of money.
Well, supposedly the expansion fee, we'll see if it goes up.
Just all the money from the expansion is they're aiming to have it in the $7 to $10 billion range.
We'll see what they end up on coming. I thought it would be more of $5 billion.
That's what I thought, too.
But
that's what they're putting out there.
But maybe that's based on, to get the owners to approve it, to give up that share of the new TV deal because it's so lucrative, they had to go there.
I know people in basketball don't care, but I actually think people do. The rivalry coming back and having the I-5 rivalry.
It's going to be great.
It's so good. Yeah. And it goes how many years that goes back and how many years it was a great game or how many years it was like, we're kind of both up and coming, and we kind of hate each other.
And it would go back. It was a true rivalry. It would go. It would shift back and forth. Who had the upper hand?
Well, I mean, I know the famous story of the yellow Hummer with Damon Stoudemire and Rasheed Wallace, but you had players
games that were played in the
drive.
Tacoma Dome when the Seattle Center was going to the Key Arena in the first renovation.
But you had players driving to the game.
Oh yeah,
how cool is that? 3-hour drives just because, screw that. We'll take our own cars and show up in our Benzes and our Hummers and whatnot. I love that this rivalry is back. This is a lot of fun. I loved Gary Payton, and I loved, a lot of those great Blazer teams, making this rivalry come back. It's something to wake up to and say, yeah, man, I hope that gets approved. It feels like it's going to get approved. It's not going to be here until 28, 29.
Yeah, you still got a few years to get ready for it.
And it's still a little bit, but that's really exciting to me is if I'm a sports fan in the Seattle, Portland area of having that back in our lives. You need somebody really close to hate you, and they're going to be coming in from an expansion angle, so they probably won't be very good. You hope by 28-29 we're somewhat more of a serious playoff team.
No kidding.
But in the off chance that you continue to be the Blazers and you're not, us starting off in very similar territory.
Could you imagine if Seattle comes in and
starts winning before us?
Starts winning.
Yeah, that would hurt. I mean, we've highlighted this throughout this season. You've already had East teams and West teams pass
Do they pick somebody off the Blazers unprotected list that comes back and...
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that earlier. I think we set the over-under at 1.5 players, the Blazers, that currently on the roster today. How many Blazers on this roster right now will be on the protected list for the Blazers in the 28-29 expansion draft? And we set it at 1.5.
Yeah.
And both of us came up with the name Donovan Clingan.
Yeah, separately.
Separately did it. Like, who would you pick? I said Clingan. Swag said Clingan. And then it's not that Denny won't be a Blazer. It's that, are we going to pay Denny the contract?
We're going to pay him. Does he get disenchanted if they don't put something together around him?
Does he want to stay here?
Does he force his way out?
Yeah, does he because we don't really know.
Is Dame still going to be playing at that point?
Is Dame the journeyman, or not the journeyman, but the bench old guy that just wants to be a Blazer till he's 41 and then he retires? If Dame is still here, and this is why I said earlier, I would bet 2. Tamani, I don't know.
Well,
That's
and
so
if
far
Dame's
away.
still here, is anybody going to really – he might not be on it because nobody's going to take him, because if he does, he says, I'll retire. It might be one of those situations.
We don't need to protect.
We don't need to protect him because nobody's dumb enough to take him.
I mean, they're probably going to protect 10 players according to the report. That's a lot of players.
Yeah.
So who you're not protecting is maybe a Dame of like, don't
Plus,
do it.
You would imagine.
But it's Caleb Love and Chris Murray.
Well,
you know
and you
I mean?
imagine 2 or 3 spots are going to be for dudes still on rookie contracts because they're going to be cheap and they want to control. They don't want to,
Whoever has the biggest contracts, who are you going to protect, plus your rookie guys, and then your role guys are just going to be like, how you decide that is how
if
you decide.
Tumani is still here, he's probably on that list. But I don't know. I don't know if he's still here.
Now, got to admit, it's not that. It's funny how like 5, 6, 7 years ago, the narrative of Vegas and how taboo all of this was.
Oh, I know.
And now they're going to have hockey,
all of them.
Women's basketball, football, baseball, and the NBA.
Yep.
They're going to have them all. They got them all. And I've seen a lot of like suggestions. I haven't seen one that blows my socks off. What do you name the Vegas team?
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw Gundy say, he quote tweeted one of these and was like, hotel resort fees. The Las Vegas hotel resort fees, because there's going to be an uptick in the resort fees. There's no doubt about it. But Vegas getting a team, I mean, it's a destination city, so we knew that once sports would get in there, they would get all of this. I'm kind of curious where they go with it. The branding's pretty easy. The gold, silver, and black is kind of a natural color.
Yeah, you work off those 3 base colors and then find an accent color.
Would you be mad if the Vegas A's rebranded and kept the A's name but changed the colors? Like if they got rid of the orange and the yellow? Or the green and the yellow? I don't think people care anymore because they're so far removed from so many cities that it's like, what does it matter?
Philadelphia, then it was, I think they were in Kansas City.
I think you're right. We had a baseball book given to us years ago, and I read about the A's are one of the longest running franchises.
Yeah, they started
sport.
in Philadelphia. I think they were in Kansas City.
I know they were in Philly.
Oakland.
Yeah, and then they went to Oakland was the third stop. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think people would really care or be tore up all that much.
I don't know how many
kind of more yellow gold color.
I don't know
anyway.
how many diehard A's fans are still left.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It was Philly and Kansas City.
Yeah.
That was the order. 1901 to 54 in Philly, and then 55
now,
67.
I will say you run the risk of if you miss the mark, and we've seen a lot of rebrandings or new franchises miss the mark with logos and uniforms, because those are classic baseball uniforms. Like, you recognize those.
Oh, no doubt. But if you still have the A logo, and you still have that gold, but you've now added black instead of green, I don't think people are tore up by it.
Would they look too much like the Pirates? That's what you got to be scared of.
Yeah, maybe.
It's harder than people think.
Yeah,
but if they went away from the green and yellow and did their own thing, no, I don't think the concept of doing something new, I don't think is that big a deal. But those are classic baseball uniforms. You can't screw up the new one, because if you do, you'll never hear the end of it.
Well, now that you have Seattle and Vegas coming back pending the vote of the Board of Governors, Here is the added element to it. There was reporting. Well, if you have one West Coast, like true West Coast team, and one Mountain Time team.
No, they're both Pacific.
Oh, you're right. Vegas has a weird thing.
Vegas is Pacific.
You're going to have a team in the West move east.
Yes.
And we have the two teams in the running for this, and we could talk about that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan.
Want a beer?
A 13 seed against the fighting Jayhawks. Maybe they'll get lucky, and old Darren Tummyache will get a tummy ache and not be able to play. But Cal Baptist punches their ticket as Utah Valley has their bracket busted. The Bracket Buster Report is brought to you by Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing, packed with citrus hops, killer aroma, and a smooth finish. Beak Breaker, enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
1080 AM.
Some cool local stories I want to get to coming up. But we were talking about the NBA expansion, the Board of Governors vote on March 24th, 25th, and the announcement this morning from Shams Charania, got some 5:45 a.m. breaking news today, is that the NBA is essentially returning back to Vegas, Seattle. Now, if somebody else comes out, like a pundit I really respect, and maybe they have and I haven't seen it. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with the news when you're doing it. If I get off the air and I find out that like Zach Lowe has already come out and said this is not a done deal, there's many people that are upset that this came out, well, then maybe I'll walk back the certainty of Seattle and Vegas. And if that has happened, we'll correct the record on that. But I believe that this was sent out in a way to say, get ready for us to announce this in a couple weeks. It's good news for the league. It's good news for the cities. It gets people fired up. And so we have expansion in Vegas and Seattle. Well, whether Vegas, whatever they pick as their name, and the Sonics come back, and what jersey did the Sonics pick, and who's going to be in the expansion drafts, all that stuff. Despite all of that conversation, the other part of this is when you have two West Coast time zone teams, one on the true West Coast, one just right there on the mountains, you have to have some relocation.
Yes, there will have to be realignment.
And some of the early reporting coming out is either the Grizzlies or the Timberwolves are the two teams right now the NBA is looking at to decide which one goes east.
Geographically, I think it makes more sense for Minnesota because you have Milwaukee, Chicago, Indianapolis that are all right there.
Memphis is pretty east, though.
It is, but it's still close enough to New Orleans and Texas where that's not...
It's not as far.
It's less far.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can grasp at whatever you want. I think either one is a good choice. I think the league is in an interesting position.
Also,
here.
Minnesota gives a little more juice to the east, where Memphis right now is.
That's totally
cyclical.
Fine to say. Yes. How many years is Ann Edwards not going to make the finals and say, "Yeah, I'm going to either be a lifetime Wolf, or I'm going to want to leave here"?
How much more interesting is the East this year if the Timberwolves are over there? As opposed to, is the West any less interesting?
Sure, but I've been saying this, man. Like, we need to dumb a theory right now. People acting like the East is some cakewalk, garbage-ass conference.
No, it's not, because Boston
top to bottom, it's a deeper conference in the West.
Yeah.
Now, the top end of the West is better than the East, certainly. But when you go from the depth of a conference, the East is better.
Yes.
And I'd argue somewhat more entertaining.
That just depends on the matchup night to night.
No doubt. But past like Oklahoma City, San Antonio.
Denver.
Denver, yeah.
Houston.
Denver choked away. Is Houston fun to watch? You like watching Houston?
I don't like watching Houston.
Okay.
The Lakers can be fun to watch.
The Lakers are right now fun to watch.
They're all healthy.
The Timberwolves can be a nightmare to watch. Their offense is so bad.
Yeah, the Clippers...
They just got Kawhi with a sprained ankle. They lost, what's their center's name? Needlehauser? They used him after
who they had after they traded Zubac.
Portland isn't fun to watch. The Grizzlies, the Mavs, the Pelicans, the Jazz, Kings,
when
all
Phoenix
suck.
is healthy, they're fun to watch.
They haven't been healthy all year.
No.
Booker gets hurt, Brooks shines. Brooks gets hurt, Booker comes back. You look in the East, Detroit, Boston, the Knicks, the Cavs, and then you've got the Hornets. Like, you got some fun teams in the East. Yep. My point is, they have to weigh which one they pick, and it may not just be based on who is geographically, who it makes the most sense for East-wise. It may have to be like, do we want to gamble on the Wolves being good past the Ant Edwards run?
Yeah.
Or do you not care about that and you say, well, geographically, Memphis a little more east on the map, and Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, all right there for Minnesota. I don't know who they're going to pick. And it can't just be based on Ant Edwards because you can't bank on Ant Edwards being in Minnesota forever. That's just not a way to make the decision.
I think you would want to consult with both those teams.
Well, they both want to go east, I would say.
I would think so.
Don't you want to get out of the conference with Wemby, Oklahoma City, right? The Lakers, once LeBron leaves, are going to have cap
space. But if you
space.
move Memphis... Minnesota is way more isolated in the Western Conference than if you move Minnesota, and Memphis is still relatively close to New Orleans
southern
and Texas.
Hub. Yeah. No, I mean, you might be making I think you are making a good point. I just would be very interested to see. Plus, Minnesota in the East, I think to your point, in the immediate, is such a better shakeup versus sending this Memphis rebuild, which either going to have or not have.
And this is
John
where
Morant.
I say maybe somebody in a back office of the NBA has a completely different wild take on how to set things up with a different playoff format and all of that stuff. And
wouldn't they need to move 2 teams east if you're having Vegas and Seattle? You're going to have Vegas
15.
Because you have 32.
If you bring 2 into the West, that's 17. So you just move 1 to make it 16.
Oh,
and
you're
16.
right. You're right. Yeah. So if in that case,
do you go to 8 or 4 8-team conference divisions?
I mean, I would be cool with them bringing back divisions and making that matter. I think it
but
actually. But
they're isolated. So and the question is now, do you want to see? Do you want to bring back rivalries and have unbalanced schedules where you're playing the teams in your division or conference more times versus? I think with the NBA though, you still need to see every team once in your building. I still think that's important, especially if they are keen on maintaining this. We got to stop load management sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
if you don't care about that, then you don't care about every team rolling into your building every season.
Look, when you have teams egregiously sit guys, that's worthy of a conversation.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a guy who follows the league, watches the league, and hears some of the narrative-based stuff from people who don't. I don't think the load management is as bad as people make it.
But if you did...
It sucks when it happens. Like you had... Who did the Spurs just play on a big... Oh, they played the Nuggets. Now, that was an NBA League Pass game. But I saw that, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So I turned it on. Wemby had just gotten kind of banged up. Wemby didn't play. People call that load management. I call like he's 7'4", and he just got banged up.
Yeah.
It's 82 games, man.
Exactly.
Well,
I'm trying to
what's
do
the ideal number
math.
of games people even want out of 82? Is it just 82? Play every day? That's what they did back in the day.
Well, you could do... So if you did 4 8-team conferences or divisions, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So then you played the other 3 home and home, so that's 24, 48 games. If you played everybody in your division 4 times, so 2 and 2, that's 28. What's 28 and 48? That's 76.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a way where you can knock a couple and still have a pretty high amount that would make TV people totally happy with it and just say we have 5 less dates on the schedule.
So
there's a way to do that. But I hope that I think that it's going to be Minnesota because I think you're making a good point of who they have geographically around them, whereas you're not going to move any of those teams near where Memphis is.
I think the point is when you do the relook, you don't want anybody to start having to travel more.
You're trying to cut that down.
And Minnesota would have to travel to Seattle and Vegas more frequently than they would go east.
Yes.
And Memphis still has enough close games right around them that I think one trip to Seattle, one trip to Vegas isn't going to throw them way more miles in their travel.
I tend to agree with you on that one, but that's the fallout from the expansion news. The Board of Governors meeting.
So New Orleans isn't being considered for
According to Shams, the 2 teams they're considering are Memphis and Minnesota. I was a little surprised New Orleans wasn't.
Well, New Orleans is so close to Texas.
Well,
not that they're not.
A question down the road here. Now, they're going to do expansion. Like down the road, though, is going to be if New Orleans never gets this figured out.
Are they going to move them?
Yeah. That would, I mean.
Yeah.
But it's unfair to the New Orleans fans.
Kansas City?
They need a new owner. The fact of the matter is the Pelicans need new ownership. Their ownership's terrible.
Can they?
They only care about football.
Yeah, I know.
They need an NBA-based owner.
What would need to happen to compel the Benson family to sell it?
I mean, a price tag? Somebody to come in? Like, yo, give me that team.
Because you can't force them, but if the NBA, because sometimes with expansion, they're able to reset new standards for stadium stuff or ticket sales or attendance or stuff like that behind the scenes.
If they don't get the rest together and sell that team, that's a team down the road that we say like, oh, they're relocating.
Yeah.
They're going to Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City.
That would make a lot of sense to me.
Ready to roll.
Instantly going to get supported.
Huge basketball market.
They love college there. You're really close to all the other, like you're not moving geographically that far.
They've had an NBA team before.
Exactly. So that would make sense down the road. But the expansion news this morning, Seattle and Las Vegas with the follow-up of potentially Minnesota or Memphis being one of the 2 teams that ends up moving east to even out the 16. Some local recognition is deserved. We'll get to that coming up next. But first, us with an update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by A&E Heating, Plumbing, and Air, serving Portland, Southwest Washington, and the Gorge, online at aneheatingandcooling.com. It's hard to stop a train. First on the Fan. Congratulations to the high school basketball champions. It was quite a week at the Child Center on the women's draw. West Lynn outlasting South Medford 61.
Boy, you're just ruining a whole segment.
56.
Just doing the whole segment.
Sorry, you can
Jeez.
go. I only have 30 seconds, but they get their first 6A title.
That was cool, West Lynn, seeing the girls do.
And then Tualatin had an unbelievable
we're gonna
finish
talk about that. That was crazy.
to beat Central Catholic
Two
for the
threes in
6A.
6 seconds?
Yeah,
Man.
that's Reggie Miller stuff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, in the animal kingdom, some good news. A kakapow.
Excuse me?
Kakapo.
Cockapoo?
It's a flightless parrot bird in New Zealand.
Oh.
And
it's not Capo Caco of the Kraken?
No, it's not a caco. It's a kakapow. Thought to be extinct in the 70s, has made a comeback. It is now at 236. And researchers believe it's one about conservation to help the bird stay relevant and not go extinct.
Yes, giving
and two,
it proper habitats.
A berry. There's a specific berry in New Zealand it's been feeding on that's giving the bird a healthier lifestyle, and they've since expanded.
All right.
There you go.
There you go. More high school basketball and bird extinct stories here in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time.
Well, good morning. Talking a little Blazers with old Meringue off the air. That was fun.
Well,
you should do a pod with him. Schedule's been crazy, though. My off time is like between work and youth basketball.
Yeah.
And I wanted to...
Is basketball over?
No. Oh. No. I mean, there's really no off season here.
Oh, you have a spring season?
Potentially. It might not be like a spring season.
Oh, you're just playing a bunch of tournaments on the weekend?
No, I'm trying... personally, I'm trying to steer away from that, but I might ended up... Spring's always the most different of the seasons because summer's the build-up into the... And then fall's kind of a wonky year, and then winter's the real one. But I wanted to shout that out this weekend. The youth basketball locally, the tournaments were great.
Oh, was it the big state tournament in Bend this weekend?
What tournament?
I remember they're for junior high, they'd have a...
Oh, you're talking about those state. I was talking about our high schools.
Oh, the high school was unbelievable.
Youth, dude, that's a whole other thing. I had this conversation with Joe Fishadish off the air because his son's 7th grade B team won the state for them. And that's cool. It's a cool moment. It's a fun father-son moment for
out
Joe.
There in Bend.
But also, I love that we have 80 teams calling themselves state champs from all these. Anyways, the state tournaments in high school have been great. You had, you had one of the upsets of South Medford. I think it was South Medford. On the upset, the gal hit the putback layup.
Right. I believe that was that West Lynn that got him into the title game? Hang on, I'll find the bracket.
No.
Oh.
South Medford beat the number 1 team and upset them on the lob.
Oh, yeah.
And then West Lynn was the 2nd seed. They ended up getting to the title game. They beat Nelson.
Yeah, South Medford beat Tualatin.
Tualatin. And then, Tualatin almost had both men and women's state titles. Yeah, boys and girls. And so South Medford gets there. West Lynn beats Nelson. They get to the title game. And West Lynn wins their first title ever in women's 6A. That was cool. In the 6A boys, you had Central Catholic Tualatin in the title game. And, boy, talking about just if you're a coach, if you're the Central Catholic coach, you're just driven up a wall on not boxing out on a free throw because Tualatin's number 1 player hits a big 3, gets an and 1. Missed the free throw. Tualatin gets the rebound. Ball goes out of bounds. They inbound the ball, but they have to stop it because the clock didn't start. There's 5.8 left. Tualatin down 2, and there's 5.8. They get the ball back in. They start the clock. Kid hits a fall-away corner 3. There's 1 point something left. Central Catholic inbounds it, throws a full-court heave. Isn't hit it. Tualatin wins their 3rd title in 5 years. Just 2 3-pointers in 6 seconds, and Tualatin wins another championship. Unbelievable ending.
Unbelievable.
And the shot, you can find the shot all over the internet. Just the degree of difficulty this kid hit. That's one of those shots you hit in a driveway in just giving yourself a wild game-winning shot scenario. And the fact that he hit that contested, I think he's a 6'1", 6'2" guard at best. Hitting that shot, the degree of difficulty was amazing. So seeing Tualatin win that was pretty stellar. And I wanted to shout out my alma mater. For the first time in 44 years.
Oh, look at that.
The Park Rose Broncos down at Linfield. Beating the Fighting Taylor Danforth, Crook County. Park Rose won their first state title in 44 years.
There you go.
Unbelievable, my alma mater.
In overtime.
It was great. It's great. 44 years.
Congratulations.
What do you mean?
Congratulations to the Broncos.
Dude, the Broncos, let me just say this about the Broncos, okay? From my experience there at Park Rose to before being at Park Rose High School, but going to games.
Park Rose, in my day, they had some ballers out there.
Well, you're speaking to your age now. Now you're talking about your age. Park Rose did have some ballers back in the day.
Yeah, we beat them for 4th place.
There you go.
Ray Ross.
Oh, man. We'll never forget that loss. It hangs over our program forever. But they were legitimately good. And then the 4A stuff and the population of schools kind of took over in the 90s, and it really hit the side of the mountain, man. It was we were in the Mount Hood, and we had Central Catholic and Centennial, and all these schools had 2,000 kids, and Park Rose is out here
Douglas.
Barely having 1,000.
Is David Douglas still the biggest school? For a while, it had the biggest population.
I don't know if David Douglas is, because David Douglas debatably, I don't know if they were in the conference this year, but they shouldn't be in it. Them, Reynolds, Gresham, it's kind of tough for them right now. But Park Rose just eats it, man. We're terrible. My year, we lost 18 games in a row. Oof. The 03 team was okay, got us to the playoffs, but like didn't reach the state.
Right.
They lost like the second or first game. And then I think there was another era after I graduated. Once they moved to 5A, Park Rose was able to compete.
They found their spot.
Yeah, and that was the rightful spot. Like for us, 4A was the 6A. We should have been in 3A when I was there.
Man.
But we weren't, and we got our asses handed to us. For Park Rose to turn it around the way that they did, and a couple of those kids transferred over with the coach because the coach was really well respected and known on the youth level. For him to come over and have that kind of talent and be able to win state, first time in 44 years, I'm not a big like alma mater proud guy about a lot of stuff. That was badass. To see the highlights of it, to see them continue to go on. They were number one for a large portion of the season this year. I saw what conference they were in. They played like Hillsborough and Canby, and it makes no sense to my brain. But to see what they have become and what they accomplished, like Tualatin, third in 5 years, that's awesome. Westland, awesome achievement by the girls to win their first 6A title.
For all the success the boys have had over the years,
right?
But the women haven't been able to,
the women now have overtaken the boys. Like, but it's West Lynn, so it's like,
yeah.
You expect them to eventually break through, and they did. To see Park Rose be able to do that for the first time in 44 years, I'd have never thought. If you asked me when I graduated high school, when will Park Rose win a state title? I would have told you never.
Yeah. Did you think about going down to Linfield on Saturday or too much other stuff?
I had. Well, that was the
Plus,
problem.
the game was like in the middle of the afternoon.
Which is fine. 2:15 p.m. is totally cool on a Saturday. I wish I would have gone. I regret not going. My weekend was pretty busy.
Yeah.
So, I kept track of it. I was following all the updates. The Oregonian was doing a cool thing where they were like live.
Perfect.
Updating you on the score and every shot and whatnot. I was doing that, and just really a cool story. Krupke and everybody else covers it. Did an exceptional job from the local TV angles of giving them their shine. But, that's a cool local story to me. Watching a school like that used to just be the laughingstock of high school basketball for a long time to be able to win their first title in 44 years. I thought that was a really cool moment. There's a lot to look forward to tonight. Congratulations to all the state title winners and all the teams that may not have won state but have overall great things that they accomplished, because not everybody that won state, the teams that don't win state, there's a lot of teams that are still really good stories.
There's no better week. I mean, if you want to go back to the highlight of high school, it was that week. And that was when it was a double elimination 16 team going to Memorial Coliseum.
And that was a cool moment. And I still think that they should do that. But
because they used to shut down classes. Like if you played at 2 in the afternoon.
They had
lunchtime
early games.
buses from the school heading down, all that
go support
stuff.
Your teams.
I don't know. I might have gone to 4 classes that entire week. It was fantastic.
It's been really good at the Child Center. There is a part of me that misses it being at the Memorial.
Well, we'll wonder. Yeah,
then it went down to MAC for a minute, and then
MAC was great. I called a bunch of those, and maybe one of the best tournaments ever with Singler Love, the Tarver brothers.
Yeah, the Tarver brothers.
Tinsley at Oregon City.
Yeah.
That was one of the best ones ever.
Yeah, but there are a lot of programs this season had great years, even if they didn't win state, and congratulations to all the local teams that did win state. What to watch for tonight, because there's some stuff to keep an eye on. We'll tell you what that is coming up next on 105.1 The Fan. Well, full lineup at the Fan today. Coming up after us, The Firm with Harrison Meringue, Duck Insider, Happy Hour with Luke Anderson, and then Prime Time, of course. We'll all be out at A. The Firm was just telling me, they asked if I wait for the play-in games to be played before filling out my bracket, to which I quickly said, no, dude. If I think NC State is going to win the Texas game and their BYU game, I'll write NC State and not care.
Yeah.
Because I hate the play-ins. I don't think they should exist. Either expand the tournament or don't do it at all.
I think they're going to expand the tournament here soon.
They very well could, but I don't wait for those games. Do you?
Not for the 16 seeds.
Dude, the 11, I don't even care about the 16 or the 11. I feel this
that
bad
depends,
boy out
because
instantly.
I think BYU is, depending on the matchup.
That's right. You got to do your research. So depending on the matchup, you got to decide if it's going to be NC State or
BYU's
Texas.
vulnerable. Ever since Saunders went out, they had a stretch because they were ranked in the top 10 for a while, and then they started losing because they lost Saunders, who was their best three-point shooter to balance the floor.
Underrated point here, too, is Duke is going to breeze through Siena, and then they're probably going to breeze past Ohio State, TCU, and then face the winner of St. John's, Northern Iowa, Kansas, Cal Baptist. Having a Boozer, Peterson, Sweet 16, and then having a Dabonsa, Acuff, Sweet 16, God, would that make the tournament so much more fun. The tournament's probably already going to be pretty good.
It's going to be fun. I would imagine ratings should be pretty good this
Florida's
year.
going for a title defense. I love when I love when a title defense team is a 1 seed, making you think you're going to win it. I need the Boozer Peterson matchup, and I need Dabonsa to go crazy for at least a game or two, and then I want to see what Acuff's going to do, because him and Arkansas were really fun to watch in the SEC tournament, and they got a path here, man. If they can get past Hawaii and Wisconsin or High Point, Arizona, man, I think they could beat
the
Arizona.
Other thing in the West, if Gonzaga gets hot, if they make threes, if their guys can make threes to keep defenses from sagging and not letting Graham Ike get going, you could have a Gonzaga-Arizona Elite Eight with Tommy Lloyd.
You would take Gonzaga over Purdue if it got to that far?
I don't necessarily know that I would do that. That game would be a rock fight. In order for Gonzaga to go deep, they need to hit threes consistently, and their best three-point shooters actually come off the bench. Their starters are the better defensive players, better ball handlers, but they got a couple of freshmen. Fogel that comes off the bench. He can light it up.
Fogel.
Davis Fogel. Fans are going to learn to hate their point guard. He's from Spain, Mario Saint-Superi. He has soccer player tendencies of flopping and arguing. He's got a real...
Why is that just soccer? That's European basketball.
I know. He's got a real Luka vibe to him where he's constantly whining and moaning and flailing his arms.
Thanks for giving me a reason to not want to root for a team. You're just laying it out for me. Thank you.
But at the same point, if he's open from three, he's almost automatic.
Yeah, Gonzaga against Dabonsa would be...
Because they got dudes that can actually match up as well as anybody one-on-one. Innocente it'll be interesting to see. He will drive Dabonsa nuts because he's a defensive first.
Potentially the number one pick in the NBA draft.
Yes.
Gonzaga has a guy that's going to drive him nuts. I'll note that. I don't know if BYU's
He'll
going to
be
win their first
attached
game.
to him.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Why do you need to do research? Sounds like you know everything.
Well, at West Coast Conference, I do tend to see them quite a bit.
You're also a honk on this conference. You're out here like, Santa Clara's going to wipe the floor at Kentucky. They got NBA guys. Is St. Mary's going to beat A&M?
That I don't know. St. Mary's I'm not as high on.
I picked them last year, and they disappointed me. I had them going a little further than
they I mean, it's always tough because they're going to play their style. So if their style frustrates another team because of the pace of the game and they lull them in to try to force it and get turnovers, that's exactly what St. Mary's wants you to do. If you have a team that goes up against them that it doesn't mind playing a slow-down sort of methodical game and they've got big bodies to rebound, that's the biggest advantage for St. Mary's. Their starting center is 7'1", 250, and their backup center is 7'3", 280.
You should nail the WCC game predictions for all these tournament games, given how much you study and nerd out on this, but I don't know if I trust your opinion either.
Okay.
It's not that you don't know. It's more like it's the tournament. So
I don't know if sometimes you're too close to it.
Yeah, there's definitely there's that vibe. Kentucky could beat Santa Clara, and I wouldn't be like, oh, man, I can't believe it.
I think that's going to be a great game either way.
Iowa State, I think, is winning the next game anyway.
Yeah.
Iowa State's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Probably should have beaten Arizona. But so the tournament brackets are out. We'll have more on this tomorrow. Dirt should be back tomorrow. The 1 seeds are Duke, Florida, Arizona, and Michigan, who kind of saying they disappointed, but they kind of
because they started out the
funky.
season, and I'm like, who the hell is going to beat them? They beat Gonzaga by 40 in that Vegas tournament.
I feel like post that Duke game, they kind of came down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, Duke had,
your Portland teams, by the way, just quickly, I'll run through this. 12-5 Wisconsin High Point, 14-13 Arkansas Hawaii, and then 6 seed BYU takes on the winner of the NC State Texas play-in, to which I say, I do not wait for play-in games, sir. Fill out the bracket. You're not going to get better or worse if you wait or don't wait for the play-in. And then Gonzaga is the lead dog here just because of the highest seed, and then also they're going to have the most fans. Gonzaga will be playing Kennesaw State, and they'll play the winner of the BYU, NC State, or Texas game. So that's your Portland draw out west. More bracket stuff tomorrow. Tonight, 5 o'clock, first pitch, FS1, Venezuela, Italy. The winner takes on USA in the World Baseball Classic.
I will be dialed into that, baby.
And then
the Blazers are at the Nets.
The Blazers are at the Nets, and if you, much like most people, I think, don't want to watch the Nets play the Blazers.
What's my NBA game of note?
Well, you got your Peacock game. Magic at Hawks, I don't think does it for a lot of people. You have Lakers Rockets is the second Peacock game.
Oh, that's
tasty.
Curious.
Lakers are on fire right now. And your other Peacock game.
I got 3 Peacock games. You sure about that?
Yeah. That's what ESPN's showing. Yeah. Spurs Clippers, but Kawhi just sprained his ankle. So
is Wemby still out, or did he just miss a game?
That's a good question. I know Kawhi's probably going to be out. They just beat the Hornets this weekend. And loading. Wemby played. So Wemby should play, but probably no Kawhi. Lakers Rockets. There you go. There's your gauntlet for the night. Enjoy the evening. Thanks for hanging with us here. Dirt will be back on the saddle tomorrow, and we'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. A lot more to dive into. Thanks for tuning in. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.